Hello everyone, I'm Grandmaster Pragyananda. Do you want to use my games to improve your chess? Now you can do. We have handpicked 50 puzzles from my games played in Champions Chess Tour this season.
I went bishop c5, d4 and queen e4. Yeah, another crucial win for the qualifications to top 8.
You can download it for free just by going to chess24.com/puzzlepack. Enjoy solving.
He played the Berlin, which I sort of expected, but I didn't really know what to do against, because in reality very few people do.
When we are playing an even game against someone of similar strength to us, usually we need to give something in order to obtain the initiative.
Just how shrewd and cunning Alireza can be, even with very little time.
I want to show you a game just to prove that I play these lines that I played against former world number 2 and a bit of a superstar, Gatakamsky.
Hi, I'm Levon Aronian.
I'm Magnus Carlsen.
My name is Anish Giri. I am a top grandmaster.
I'm Grandmaster Adiman Bhaskar.
Grandmaster Hans Zeman.
Grandmaster Lim Quang Le.
Ivan Šarić, former European champion.
Oh, he will go queen h5 check with a double attack. Attack the king and attack the pawn. And you thought, no, can't have that. I don't want the double attack. And so, with this very good insight, you chose the move g5, trying to block the queen's access.
Hello everybody, how are you guys doing? Hope everything is fine wherever you are, and very happy to be here for this Challenger Chess Tour and the Magnus Academy Challenge. I'm very happy to join the Ellen Nilssen for commentary. How are you, Ellen, today?
I'm so excited to be back for yet another day of exciting blitz here with you, Pepe. I'm thoroughly excited, and I think there are about 4 minutes until they start again. We have some very interesting matchups coming up, but let's just talk a little bit about what happened yesterday, because yesterday it was Pranav who was the star of the show, but there were also 3 other contestants who were really fighting for the first place in Samonenkov, Ilamparthi, and Barath. So Pepe, what do you think? What will we see today?
Exactly, we have 4 players leading, and they have quite some margin with the rest of the players. Like we have this Samonenkov, Pranav, Ilamparthi, Barath, and then the next player is Mishra in the 5th place. 12 points only, and the 4 leaders 19 points. So probably it's going to be between those players who will qualify for the final 4, which will be played at the end of this month. And hello, everybody in the chat out there. You guys know you can interact with us. You can ask whatever you want. We're happy to answer those questions, right?
Yes, it's great to see everyone out there in the chat. I see some of the same names that we saw yesterday, and it's great that people they're coming back for these fighting games. Now, I have to say, yesterday I really thought that Mishra would be doing better than he did. It seemed like he was having quite a tough day. He's very much behind from all the other players, who are fighting for the first and second place. What do you think it will take for Mishra if he really wants to qualify today? Does he have to win all his games?
Yeah, I think he has to go all in and maybe to score like how many runs do we have today? Like 7, right? At least 6 out of 7 or something. So because he's quite far from fourth place, so he has to go all in and basically win almost every game.
Do you think he can do it?
I think he can do it. Yeah, he's very strong. Let me check his calendar. So he has good pairings. Let's say because he already faced let me see. I think he faced Pranav, Bharat, Ilan Party. So 3 of the 4 leaders. And he has decent chances to score a lot of points today.
Yeah, for sure. It's always a question of, do you want to meet some of the lower rated people who might have targets on their backs? Or do you actually want to play against the people who are leading so that you can take the points from them? But the chances of you losing is also higher. But exactly. I think you're right. He can score a lot of points, but it will definitely be tough for him today.
And people remember what you said today. So Isuru, he's asking, Ellen, did you have a lot of ice cream yesterday?
Of course. I had like this big tub of ice cream and, it disappeared. It definitely did. But it was I didn't choose the flavors myself, but it was some very, very interesting flavors. I don't know if you've ever had lemon ice cream with ginger and chili.
No way. Chili. What are you doing, Ellen? You're going to die of this spicy ice cream.
I wasn't the one who picked it, so I was like, okay.
No, I'm a very classical guy, just chocolate and, vanilla and all these things,
Yeah, I love those as well. But here in the first round of the day, we do have a marquee matchup, game between Pranav and Bharat, who are 2 of the leading players in this tournament. So I think we will be following that game.
Exactly. So they're very strong, 2,500, both of them, and they should be starting actually in seconds, right? It's 2 already. Here in Buenos Aires, it's 7:30 in Denmark, I believe, right?
Yeah, here it's 7:30. For you, it's a little bit earlier. So probably after today, I will be going to bed, but you still have the whole night ahead of you. It is a Sunday, and I believe that partying on a Sunday is something you can do, yeah?
Yeah, you can do it every day. But no, I'm going to play solid today. I have to work tomorrow, so I'll just some dinner with some friends and then go back home.
Okay, that also sounds great. And we are off. Pranav making the first move on the board, e4. What do you think we will see? I'm hoping for knight or
c5. Yeah, Sicilian. We got c5 and then d6. I think they're listening to you.
Well, that's always nice when they do, but I don't know if it's too good for them. But d6, let's see if we're getting a closed or open Sicilian here. We are getting the open, probably going into a Najdorf. It's very interesting to see what variation, if Pranav will try to go for something more solid or try to play more aggressive. Oh, bishop g5, that's aggressive.
Yeah, the sharpest line in the Najdorf, for sure. There's a lot of theory behind these lines. It's a very, very complicated, a lot of sacrifices and a lot of excitement, for sure. Usually you bring the queen to f3, you go long castle, and then you start pushing the pawns on the king side with g4.
Yeah, I always feel like, especially in Blitz, these games, they go out of control with both players just pushing their pawns on the queen side and the king side, and someone's going to blunder something. I'm saying it now.
Right. Oh, for sure. So now after g4, b5 is the main move. f5. Well, I actually don't know this move, so it's not the main line, of course. So it's very direct approach. You want to put pressure on e6, but of course the drawback of this move is the e5 square. So now you can use this square with the knight, or you can close the position with e5, which is extremely natural as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I generally really like the knight on e5. But it seems like Bharat definitely was surprised by this move, taking a little bit of a think here. How much do you think they prepare for these games?
Well, maybe not so much. Well, maybe just for the first game or 2-3 games. Like you cannot prepare against, let's say 8 opponents in one night. And it doesn't make any sense. It's just best just to go with some rest, and don't go crazy because people play basically everything in Blitz, So
Okay, so queen h3 on the board, trying to put some pressure on the e6 pawn. But I don't know if you're as black, if you're worried. Okay, going knight to g4, trying to trade off the dark squared bishops. Now there are ideas with queen g5 and knight e3 at some point, maybe.
Yeah, queen g3 makes a lot of sense. So basically you're threatening h3 followed by queen takes g7. So maybe just short castle in this position is fine for black. Short castle h3, knight f6, and I don't see anything dangerous yet against the black king.
How about queen g5, queen e3, trying to exchange some queens and get a Sicilian endgame? I've always heard that the Sicilian endgames are nice.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. So queen g5, king b1, queen e3, and can I go there? That makes a lot of sense, actually. So let's say queen g5, check, and queen e3. Maybe knight f3 here in order to stop the queen trade. And then put some pressure against d6.
Because if you were going to go queen h3, I wanted to try to perpetual your queen with queen h6. But knight f3 is a very nice move. I like this putting pressure on d6. But Bharat is taking a lot of time in this position, trying to figure out the best way to play.
Yeah. Well, for example, also bishop e2 is a natural follow-up in this position after short castle, let's say. So developing the last piece, connecting the rooks, right? And maybe bringing the rook to f1, a file that can be opened in the near future as well.
I would be super scared going short castles in this position with the queen on g3 just pointing down at the king.
But basically, you don't have too many options here because h3 or bishop e2 are threats, and g7 is in the air actually. So maybe queen g5 or short castle. Maybe do you find any other idea here?
Not really. I think black has to take desperate action and actually did castle, trying to get the king to safety. But your bishop e2 move here, and then, well, okay, what I like for black is that white doesn't have the dark squared bishop. I think this is very important because otherwise that attack could come very quickly.
Yeah, but also the d6 pawn is weaker, without the dark squares bishops.
That's
so
true,
usually it's also natural in this Sicilians where the pawn is on d6, which is a weak pawn to trade the dark square bishops in order to put pressure against d6. But but this moment it's not that easy, right? To target that pawn because the knight on e5 is doing a great job.
Yeah, the knight on e5 definitely looking beautiful. What should white play here?
I want to attack, You want
to attack queen f4, okay.
Queen f4, g4, and then h4, g5. Yeah, he went for that.
In front of listening to you, really going all in here.
I'm sending some vibrations now.
Okay, so b5, trying to start a counter attack on the queen side.
As I learned from you yesterday, we have to play e3, right? So you said that yesterday like 5 times. So.
I think it's important because the knight is so well placed on c3. So definitely. And it's tough to play a5 because the pawn on b5 is just hanging. So maybe I move like rook b or rook b8. You have to be a little bit careful about sometimes some knight c6. But
yeah, I think white is very fast in this position. g4, g5 is coming, and you can never play in h6 because of after h4, g5 is even stronger, right? The h file can get opened. So I would be extremely scared right now in this position.
How about if
you have a nice tactic here, Ellen. You can take on g4 with the e knight and then play e5.
Yeah, that was something of what I was looking at, but I'm a little bit worried about the d6 pawn that you also mentioned, and taking on g4, the g file can be opened. So maybe we should take a look at the variation. So knight e takes g4, bishop takes g4, and then e5.
e5. Yeah, I think I like black's position because you're taking here. You have a lot of dark squares. So takes, rook takes, queen e5. It's a very nice move because you cannot take actually since the bishop on g4 is hanging after the trade.
Ah, that's nice.
But maybe you have the intermediate move f takes e6 here.
Oh, wow. So
f takes e6. And now I have also the f5 square after I take on f7. Let's say knight e5 takes. And this position looks nice for white, actually. So d square, the d6 pawn, very weak. The
the g file is open. Wow.
But no, knight
But no.
to d7.
Yeah, with the same idea of going e5, maybe looking at some knight c5 to a4 to open the p file. This is definitely also a move. And white has to take immediate action here just to avoid the move e5.
Yeah, I guess you have to retreat the queen somewhere, and it makes sense to e3 since the e4 pawn is hanging. So he didn't listen. He went g5 straight away.
Yeah, I was actually considering the move, but I thought that e5, queen h4 takes d4, takes f6, and then the queen is attacked. Okay, that's important because otherwise the knight on c3 would be hanging.
Yeah, gf6
oh,
makes a
taking
lot of
on
sense,
f6
intermediate
first
move.
also.
But then you can take just with the knight, for example, and still the fork in the air, right? So knight f6, and then you take on d4, and then queen e5, centralizing the queen. I think black's fine here.
Yeah, I'm probably not getting mated right now, which is probably very important. But how do you save the pawn?
Yeah, I think this is the problem taking with the queen. That now you cannot play rook d8. This is something you could do with the knight on f6. But now I think black is just losing, or could be losing a pawn. You know, queen takes no rook e8, and I just take the pawn on d6.
Because the knight on d7 is hanging.
Right. It's still not so clear because then at the end of the line, you have some knight c5, and then there is tremendous pressure against the e4 pawn. Okay, but not taking the pawn, trying to be a little bit more ambitious. This is also something we saw with Pranav yesterday. Was really, really ambitious in all the games, just trying to win each and every single position. What I like here for Pranav is that he does have 2.5 minutes more than Bharat. That's right. And, well, it's never easy to capture the pawn on d6 since e4 is going to be weak for the rest of the game. And so I guess white's plan is next move to play rook e1, for example. But then after rook a d8, I don't see a clear way to take the pawn on d6.
Yes. Okay, so king f8, stepping out of the g file, maybe preparing king e7 at some point.
Yes, that could be an option. Even rook e5 first. And then king e7 is never possible because of the pawn on g7. So maybe just g6 before, right?
Yeah.
And
also restricting the bishop on f3 a little bit more. I just really want to get the knight on f6 to e5, but it seems impossible.
Yeah, I think whenever you move the knight away from f6, then you don't put pressure anymore on e4, and then d6 is, I mean, you can take on d6. So I guess you have to keep the knight on f6, putting pressure on e4 all the time. Otherwise, d6 falls, yeah?
But only 15 seconds left for Bharat.
Bharat, yeah.
Yeah, this is, it's starting to look like he's under a lot of pressure here. Has to hold this endgame, and also the time situation is looking bad. How could we create the most problems for...
I would love to bring the king to f4, but then whenever the king is on e3, d5 is very strong. So that's why he went back to c1. And you can also start, you know, trying to create some troubles on the queen side by playing some a4.
So finally, the g6 move, just to make sure that the pawn on g7 is never hanging. I like this move.
And then king e7 or rook e6 are both playable, I guess.
Yeah, I like king e7 because now we can also activate the e8 rook via h8, and the king is also doing something. So I really like king e7.
What is
e5.
E5, bishop f3, e takes f6, and then you cannot take on f6 because of rook f4. So you have to go. Yes. Well, rook d3 and then troubles. Yeah, rook h3, rook h4, and suddenly this is mate. This is mate. No, rook h3 was mate. Rook h3 was mate. King j8, rook h4. That was mating too.
Oh wow, that was beautiful. I needed some time to get it, but that was actually just checkmate.
That was very nice.
Oh, this can be one of the drawbacks of playing so quickly. As
maybe he just saw the idea now. Wow,
now amazing. It's checkmate once again.
Well, and the thing is, you cannot take
the
on
pawn on f6 is hanging.
Right, but the rook on c8 is hanging as well. Now rook h4.
Yes. Oh, so Bharat will be losing the rook in this position after rook h8.
Right.
Oh, even checkmate. Yes, with the two
beautiful. Rooks. He didn't see the idea first time, but then second time he actually saw it, and very beautiful. He finished Varat in this game.
Yeah, and Pranav just going to 7.5. No, I'm sorry, not 7.5. Is it 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 7? 7.5, yes.
Yeah, he's got 22 out of 24.
Oh my goodness, that is a lot of points. Really, really trying to beat Yesipenko's huge score. And we still have this game going with Ilan Parthi. Ilan Parthi actually sharing for a second before this round, but seems to be in real danger in this position.
Yeah, I think he's in a lot of trouble, actually. So you're an exchange and 2 points up with the white pieces. So Grell should be winning this game. Of course, it's bliss, and it's never easy to finish a game. But
yeah, but I think the problem for black here is that there's just not a lot of counterplay in the position.
Yeah,
it's really a lot of pawns. You can hope for some bishop e5, queen takes h2, but probably you would need to play bullet with no increment for that to work.
Yeah, rook e8, that's a very nice move. Just minimizing the risks, just exchanging a lot of pieces. And this should be over pretty soon.
Yeah, I think so, for sure. Now it should be very close to checkmate also. I like this rook d8 now. It's just,
you can resign now.
Yeah.
Queen b7, and that's it. Well, okay.
Well, just bringing the queen. So now that queen trade is forced and Ilan Parthi resigns, we do still have a few more games going. So here we have Samonenkov or Ihor against Lou. Lou, only 12 years old, actually, and they are playing on increment. Oh, but bishop d6, that one hurts.
Yeah, now bishop c5, for example, and then you cannot protect
f7.
f7.
Will be hanging.
And f5 is suicidal, right? To open the 7th rank.
Oh, yes, that must be checkmate somehow.
It's actually mate. It's actually mate in 3. Rook g7, rook h7, and rook g7.
Do you know what that mating pattern is called, actually?
How?
The blind swine.
The blind swine? Really?
Yes.
Wow.
When you're checkmating with the rooks like that, it's called that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little bit of a weird name, but okay. And still 2 more games to go. Unfortunately for Lou, she did lose this game. Here we have Machteld, the sister of the Van Verries brothers, and against Anastasia. They are also playing on increment, but black with an exchange and a pawn more. The only counterplay for white here is the b pawn, but that one is not going far.
No way. You have 3 versus 1 on the king side, and black is going to create 1 or 2 passers pretty quickly. So somebody's asking in the chat, how do we know they don't have Stockfish open on another monitor? Well, we have some cameras pointing out to the whole room, and then they also have to share the screen. And we have some arbiters controlling everything, so guaranteeing fair play, right?
Yes, of course. And I don't think you need a lot of Stockfish to win this position anyway. That pawn is going to g1, becoming a queen. The bishop on e5 is protecting the b8 square, so g1 queen shouldn't be an issue here.
That's right. Now, 10 seconds. Anastasia should be resigning. No, should be actually Mactel should be resigning very soon.
Yeah.
H5 falls right now.
So not much play left here. And that is the last game going, probably.
I think we have another one here.
Oh, we have another one, but this one will be over very quickly as well.
Right. Yeah. Let me just see if there's something else. Nope. So I think all games are now finished. So let's do a recap. Well, let's just check the standings, maybe. So we have 2 leaders, Pranav and Samonenkov, 22 out of 24 and 27. And Ilan Parthi and Brad with 19 out of 27. What did your guy, Mishra? I think he actually didn't play.
Yeah, I think he had the bye in this round. So actually also only getting to play 6 rounds today. That's it's going to be very tough. But luckily for Mishra, there was a lot of action on the top boards. because as we see here, Barath did lose to Pranav, and Ilan Parthi, also one of the co-leaders, did lose to Gurel. And besides that, Samonenkov gaining some more points by beating Lu.
Yeah, I think now Mishra is 10 points behind Samonenkov, which is 3.5 points, right? So it's quite tough, but the good news is Samonenkov has to rest one game. So it's actually like 7 points. So still a lot, yeah? Very tough for him.
Yeah, but I also have to say I'm really happy to see that Gulane Aiden, she won a game, so she's starting the day well. Yesterday she unfortunately lost all her games, but today she's ready with the comeback. I believe in her, and I think she's gonna get a lot more points in today.
Okay, so what should we check in the next round?
Okay, so some interesting matchups in the next round, of course. We have Ilan Parthi against Pranav. That's an important one for the standings. But there are also some people that we haven't been looking at a lot. Maybe, do you want to take a look at Mishra against Sahiti?
Sure, let's go there.
Let's see if Mishra can get a winning streak started, because he will definitely need that if he wants to qualify for the final against Sadvani and Yesipenko. That's also in October, right?
I think it's 29th and 30th, but let me check.
Yeah, the 29th and 30th of October.
Right. Final four. And remember, the one who wins that Final Four will travel to Tel Aviv to face Pragnananda in another super interesting match.
Yeah, that's going to be very interesting to follow. It's going to be 4 days, the 11th to 14th of December. September, that's a little bit far from now. But I think we do see the players on the screen, so they are probably getting ready to play. It's round number 10. Wow, time is moving so quickly.
What's the weather now in Denmark, Elaine? Do you already have snow there?
Oh, no.
Not
Today
yet,
was
right?
12 degrees Celsius, probably.
Oh, okay.
But I could imagine it's a little bit warmer in...
Yeah, in Argentina, well, it's like 20-something. It's quite nice here.
Yeah, that like the 20-something, that's the perfect weather.
That's the target, yeah. 20-something.
I think 24 is pretty nice.
Yeah.
That's one of my
city
favorites.
in summer is too hot, Granada in the south of Spain, we reach like 45
No.
Celsius.
As, like if it goes above 30, I'm just not there.
Yeah.
Okay, e4, e5, knight f3. Let's see if we're going for... Yes, we are seeing a Petrov here. And d4. This is a main line, but definitely not the most played move in the position. Knight takes e4, bishop d3. This is all theory. Now d5 is the main move as far as I know, and knight e5. I believe... See, I'm always wrong when I say these things. I'm always wrong. But I believe this was Niemann against So in the Sinkfield Cup. I'm just going to quickly look it up. That they played this line where Wesley won.
Knight c3. Basically, you're forcing black to take on c3 because f5 is too risky, actually. And you have to see what happens after queen h4, g3, knight takes c3. This actually doesn't work because of queen e1 check. Beautiful. And then you just capture the bishop next move, and white is just winning. So that's why black usually takes on c3. This already happened in the game.
And I can quickly say that, of course, I'm wrong. And every time I say that I remember something, it's wrong. That they played a main line with knight takes e5. And we have a question if Machteld is related to Jordan. And yes, she is. She is his younger sister. I believe that they're a family of 4 guys and then Machteld, but I am not entirely sure. Maybe this wasn't some... Because this position with the bishops on d7 and d6 and the bishop on d3 kind of reminds me of the World Championship match where they had a game with a pawn on d2 and the bishops, like they were all lined up on the d file. But then there was some nice move by Magnus where he was pressing a lot.
Yeah, h5. So you go short castle, queen h5. Well, this is actually playable, f5. But now black is saying, you know what? You can check on e1. I don't care. I'm just gonna bring the king to f8 and then gonna start, attacking like a beast here on the queen.
I always love these games where you just push pawns and try to mate your opponent. And this has been played with rook e1 and king f8.
That's right, king f8. Now, if you bring the queen to f3, well, you can play bishop g4. Now, you shouldn't capture on d5 because of tactics. Bishop h2, discovered check.
Oh, yes. That is also one where you have to experience it to never forget it.
Yeah, I think we all have experienced these blunders in our chess career, right? Sooner than later. But
yeah, it happened to me once, but luckily my position was so good that I was still winning.
Oh, really?
Yes. So that was a little bit lucky.
No, I'm so stupid. Once I resigned having mate in 3.
Oh no, you did?
Yeah. So I'm the winner,
Okay, yeah, I don't think I can top that one. I've only tried losing with a rook more.
Okay, that's nothing.
And a piece more.
That's nothing. Yeah. That's the story of my life.
Yeah. Okay, now, b6 to protect the pawn on b7 and also prepare c5 maybe.
If you give me 3 tempi, then I will capture your queen, yeah? d2 and then bishop g5.
But if you're doing it like that, then maybe you only need 2. Bishop g5 and takes f6.
Yeah, that's even better, yeah.
Can I take
now
on
the question
d4?
is, that's right, yeah. So I think it's actually quite dangerous for black. So queen f3, for example, followed by bishop b2. Looks to me very, very strong, or at least dangerous for black.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, if you take on c4, then this position is a little bit better for white, I believe. Now I have fixed my pawn structure a little bit, and then your king's still stuck in the on f8. But black goes all in. g5.
G5, I love to see it. Because if white takes on d5, like we talked about yesterday, a pawn is a pawn. Mm-hmm. And c4, c5 is an idea, but the attack is coming really quickly. Like c takes d5 and g4.
G4 is the next move, and then you're actually opening either the H file or the G file. So in both cases, look very, very dangerous for white.
Yeah, definitely. I would be worried.
I will be extremely scared. So what happens in this position? For example, if I just play c4, g takes h3. Maybe I can play queen f3, just trying to trade queens.
Queen g7.
Queen g7.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay. And
a quick shout out to
there's bishop b2.
Yes, bishop b2 is very nice. I just wanted to give a big shout out to ChessWeep for rating us on Chess24 with a party of 44. Thank you for that. We hope you had a great stream. Okay, Mishra taking his time here. I can understand why, because if I'm white, I really don't want to take on d5. I really, really do not.
Yeah, you first want to stop black's attack, but it's not easy because what are you going to do? f3, it looks ridiculous, right? Because d4 comes with a check. Oh, shit, okay, he took on d5.
He took, he's brave. Maybe he just couldn't find anything better because there's no way to stop g4.
That's right. And now, what I don't want to do is to take on g4, because after h takes, this is going to be mate very soon.
I can already see rook h1 coming.
Yeah, rook h1 as well in some lines. So now it's a very tough moment for Mishra.
Yeah, how to react here?
Maybe you shouldn't react. You should wait till black takes on h3 to play queen f3 and then offer this queen trade, you know?
So can we try to create counterplay some other way with like c4? I like your c5 idea because of this very nice bishop b2.
Yeah, bishop b2. Well, still you gotta be careful. Some lines is queen f2, but of course we were talking about this line where the queen is on g7 and the queen on f3. But how can black play if it's not taken on h3, which is the most logical move in this position?
Well, I think she has to take on h3.
Yeah, I was thinking about rook g8 in this moment. So now taking on h3 is even more dangerous, right? Because you don't have time to play your queen f3.
Yeah.
But then maybe I'm going to go for the queen trade on h6. Actually, it's almost mate.
Oh. Oh, wow. That is check, yes. And if I take? Oh, no, I can't take.
Yeah, queen h6 wins.
Yeah, the rook on e1. Oops.
Yeah, the rook on e1 is doing a great job covering the escape route of the king on e7. Rook e5. What a beautiful move.
Wow.
I don't know. It's beautiful. I don't know if it's good, but beautiful for sure. Yeah, because now if black takes, then again, bishop b2.
This is a like Petrosian style exchange sacrifice for sure.
Right. Nice. So if you take on h3, I believe the idea is to take on h5 there.
Oh, yeah, that looks nice.
I don't know what's going on here, Ellen. Crazy
I have to say, I'm pretty much just looking at the position because what to say. So let's say g takes h3, rook h5, queen h5. And then if queen g7, there's bishop h6.
That's right. Rook g8 is in play.
Yeah. So
but now you have this beautiful move, h4. If queen takes, then bishop... I wanted to go bishop g5. But bishop h6.
And it's the same, very close to checkmate that we've been looking at before.
And there's a nice variation. So h4, bishop e5, pawn takes, queen takes, and then bishop a3. If you go king g7, then bishop b2, and then I win the queen, right?
Oh, that is a long variation, but I think you're right. Yes, and Mishra decides to take on h5. G takes h3.
Right. I want to close the position. So let's say bishop h6, king e8, queen e1 in order to play g3 later. But then there's queen f3. This is very complicated.
Very complicating. And Mishra, I actually hadn't noticed this until now, but only has 23 seconds left on the clock to figure out this mess.
In practice, this is very tough for white because the king is going to go to d8. And then what are you going to do here with this g file? You're going to close with g3, then some bishop g3 is in the air as well. And the king is going to be super nicely placed on b7. G3.
G3, but now there's always some bishop takes G3 ideas in the air. And imagine having to calculate that with only 10 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, bishop G3 should be an interesting possibility. I'm just wondering what happens if you take and then the king goes to H1. I don't see mate with the black piece.
Not yet.
So bishop G4.
Yeah, that's a great move. The king has to move.
With this rook? It's trapped.
Oh, the rook is actually...
Boom! Queen H4, bishop F3, H2 wins. Boom! This is winning.
Wow! What a variation.
Takes, bishop F3, king F1, and H2. Or even if you go bishop G5.
But can you also go bishop E2 check instead?
Yeah. Bishop E2. But bishop G5 check. You gotta be careful here.
Ah, that's a double check. Oof.
Yeah.
So, I thought I gave a check and then you would have to...
he did it!
Wow, she found queen takes h4 and Mishra realizing he cannot take back. So going queen e3 here.
Beautiful.
Oh. But now h2, getting that pawn closer to promotion. And then maybe...
h1, and then maybe queen h5 in order to go bishop f3.
Oh, that looks beautiful. I was thinking about bishop h3, but I don't see the immediate follow-up. Ah, the queen is still hanging. The queen is still hanging. Oof, it's important to be sharp in these late hours.
Yeah. Yeah, h2, king h1. Now you have to move the queen away. Okay, he did it by playing queen e7. And not just straight queens, and then just a rook up, yeah?
It's a full rook?
Yeah.
So Sahiti probably taking down Mishra in this game, and I think Mishra's chances are
over completely. Yeah,
completely over. Yes,
to qualify is just impossible now.
And we actually see that Samunenkov won yet another game, but Pranav might be winning against Ilan Parthi. Because it's a very interesting position. It's a rook and a piece. It's a rook and two pieces for a queen and two pawns. But the pieces, they must be very good because the black king is also very, very safe.
Yeah, now knight g4, knight d1. f2 basically is going to fall. very, very soon, and this king is going to be in extreme danger.
Yeah, both knight e3 and takes on f2 are threats in this position.
Yeah, once the f2 pawn falls, everything falls apart, right?
Mm-hmm.
e3, g3, and yeah, this is basically over. I think knight e2, knight g3 coming. I think it's just,
Yeah,
just
so it takes
rook f2,
on
rook f7, right?
Oof,
If you want.
Yes. You could also go knight e2 to threaten knight g3 checkmate. Because
Yeah, I think
queen g8, king h6, there are
Yeah.
no more checks.
That's
There's
right.
bishop takes g6. But, okay,
I
yeah,
go-
it's very safe to just take on f7.
No, you can even you can play even king h6, right?
Oh, that's nice. That's really nice.
Actually, Pranav went for that line, actually.
Just going for the immediate checkmate. So now if you play queen b8, there's also rook h2.
Rook h2 mate. That's right.
Mhm. So too many checkmates for white to protect from, and that is just that is game over. So Pranav winning yet another game. Oh
He's a
my
beast.
goodness.
This Pranav
8.5
is a beast.
out of 9.
You have the number of veterinary over there, Helen, with you?
A number of what?
A vet, you know?
For treating
There is a beast. There is a beast in the streets. Pranav.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
might have to call a vet. But we still have a few games going. It seems like Aiden might be winning yet another game. She does have a queen more against Lou, so I want to bring her some luck because yesterday I felt a bit bad for watching her game when it went wrong. But this, I believe, she will be able to take home.
Mm-hmm. So Lou's gonna lose this game. And
yes.
Okay, so we have something else going on, or this is just the last game?
And there's also the game between Caldena and Gurel.
Candela.
Yeah, they have a little bit more spice in the position.
Candela means fire. In Spanish.
That's very nice. From candle.
That's right.
Makes sense. Mm.
So Candela, I mean, position is around equal, right?
I would prefer to be black here because the black king is a little bit more safe, and there's a very nice blockade on the dark squares on the queen side. So the pawns, they're not doing a lot over there.
Exactly. So you can actually push this majority, and this one is completely blocked.
Mm-hmm. So Candela has to protect this one. And apparently Candalo means fireplace in Hungarian.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, so somebody said that in the chat? Candelo?
Yes, exactly.
And Canelo is a boxer, famous boxer from Mexico. He's actually the world champion.
I didn't know.
Knight f4
okay, knight f4 is a threat. Yes.
Be careful here, Candela. Queen e4, knight f4, what's going on here? King f1, queen h3 is very dangerous for white. Is queen h3, queen h1.
Oh, very, very dangerous. Oh, but the queen,
Bishop c3 and over, right? Well, king d1, queen f1, and it's going to be over very soon. There is some knight g2.
Mm-hmm. How about now?
Queen d7.
Doesn't find queen e7. That was a nice move, though. Trying to take advantage of the pin. But now a check, and the king has to go to e2, but then knight d4 is another check. Oh, king d3? That king is running. Wow.
Only move.
Okay, attacking
now
the
bishop
bishop.
c3 is actually over, yeah.
Oh,
knight
because
b3,
of queen
queen
e1.
And knight d4 coming as well.
Yeah.
So many threats.
And now knight d4. And this is resigns. Yeah, those dark squares really turned out to be a problem, and we actually see that out of our 7 games, black won 6 of them. Only a white win for Erasmus against Van Verriest.
Okay, so what are the standings? Let me check. We have Pranav leading with 25 out of 27, and then second place for Samunenkov with 25. Actually, Ilan Party and Barat lost once again their games. So only 19 points. For them, they scored 0 out of 2 today, right?
Yeah, my prediction about 2 Indians becoming number 1 and 2 in this tournament, it's not holding up very well because Samonenkov and Pranav, they're really gaining a few points here. It seems like the fire from Ilan Party and Bharat, it turned off a little bit. But okay, I can see that also Bharat had the bye in this round.
Ah, okay. I see. So he didn't lose this round.
Yeah.
Only the bye. So still Samonenkov and Ilan Party, they need to take the bye.
Yes. But Bharat already played Samonenkov. But Ilan Party is yet to... No. Also already played. Oof, so much to keep track of right here. So I believe the next round will start in a little less than 2 minutes.
Let's go there. Let's see what are we gonna follow.
Oh, it's Bharat versus Ilan Party. That's a very, very important matchup for if any of them wants to gain the second or first place.
Okay, so let's follow that. Then, and 8 rounds in total today, guys.
7 rounds today, no?
7 rounds.
Yes, exactly. I think so. Yeah, because they have 15 rounds in total. So and it's still the same time control as yesterday. We are playing with the time control 5+3, meaning that we have a kind of a slower blitz. But to me, slow blitz when you don't have any time is still really, really difficult. So as we're also seeing pieces, they are flying. And we're happy to see that all the chats, people are writing. It's great to see you out there. We are reading. So if you have any questions, please just keep them coming and we will do our best to answer them.
So you prefer playing bullets or blitz?
Oh,
are you this
I'm addicted
addict person? Exactly, like playing bullets until 4 a.m. and then getting angry. Just say, I'm just gonna try to get 20 more rating points, and then you lose like 20 points, and then you keep playing until 6 a.m.
Don't get me started. This is me in a nutshell. But I've actually gotten a comment to tell you that your chessable course on the Philidor is excellent.
Oh, thank you very much. I actually spent like 3-4 months just focused on that, It's 45 hours, of course.
45 hours? Oh my god.
45 in Spanish and 45 in English. So
oh, you did it in both languages?
I did it in both languages.
That's real dedication. Something else that is real dedication is this position right here. That is a very, very funny line. At least I think so. So this H3 G4 might look aggressive, but the plan is actually to stop Black's F5 ideas. Well, this is called the Macroganoff Variation. This is one of my favorite systems versus the King's Indian. And basically, your plan is very simple. Well, nothing is simple, but your plan is to go Queen D2, Knight E2, Long Castle, Knight G3, Rook G1, and Knight F5. This is one of the ideas in this variation. And if Black wants to react, usually does it by playing C6, taking on D5, and then trying to look for some counterplay on the queen side. We're also getting a question about which of the players has impressed us the most so far. I can tell that for me, it's definitely Pranav, just pulling that huge score. And also not only that, but also showing some great, great chess. I knew that he was good. I knew that he was some blitz specialist, but still to get 8.5 out of 9, that's pretty good. Yeah. And I think D takes C6 is inaccurate here in this position. You never take on C6. You usually go Knight G2. Because now here after Long Castle, Black can play Knight D7, for example, as it happens in the game. And I think Black is fine now. Black is fine. You should also be careful about those pawns rolling on the queen side, A4, A3. Already looking a little bit dangerous. The bishop can come to E3. This bishop is E6. E6, now, sorry. And now Knight G3, one of the plans that you mentioned.
Yeah, knight g3, rook g1, knight f5. It's always something to take in account. But I think black is fine. You play queen c7, you bring the rook to the b5. a4 has been played.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Just trying to get the pawn to a3.
Yeah, and of course, it's also very nice to go h4 and h5 in these positions, just with the simple idea of going bishop h6 and then take on g6 and then take on g7 and then mate on h6, right?
You don't know how many times I've gotten mated like that.
Yeah.
It's starting to get depressing at this point.
Too optimistic.
Yeah. So h4 is on the board, intending to play h5 in the next round. So why don't we just play a3 as black here? Is b3 just very solid for white?
I think so, yeah. So I was thinking about queen a5 first in order to go a3. But it's the same. Yeah, it's the same. No, I didn't say anything. Sorry.
Okay, so going for
d5
what's the
is
point
the
of
idea.
d5, of course, but isn't that quite difficult to get through?
No,
Maybe
because,
not. Maybe not.
Because the king is on c1, right? So
I like
g5.
this. I kind of like this g5 move because now the knight has to move from f6 and t5 is more difficult.
Yeah, d5 is more difficult, but it's true that now you can never play bishop h6, so it's going to be tougher to succeed in the attack. Maybe you want to go queen h2, h5 takes, but with the rook on e8 and the king on f8, it's going to be tough to mate in this position.
Yeah, probably g5 was a little bit of a more positional move.
Yeah, exactly. Stopping d5, prophylaxis. And, well, I think now queen a5, rook fd8. Sorry, let me do correctly the arrow. Yeah, queen a5 and rook fd8 should be a decent option for black here.
I can also see that we switched from red arrows yesterday to blue arrows today. Is that a stylistic choice?
Of course, I'm always paying attention to style. No, it's just a pure random, I just click these colors here. We have 4 colors: green, red, yellow, and blue. Yeah.
My favorite color is yellow. So can we do some yellow arrows? That would make me very happy.
Sure. Of course. Why not?
Okay. So h5 is on the board. Now, let's say we give white 3 moves. Of course, not like going and taking a queen or something. Yes. So queen h2 takes, and then checkmate on h7.
h7. But of course, black is going to go rook e8, and I don't see how to make any progress in that position. Yeah, maybe some bishop h3, another positional move, eliminating the light square bishop in order to make even more difficult to play d5. But here, queen h2 should be the move.
Yeah, that goes along with the ideas as you said. So after queen h2, rook fd8 takes on g6. Then what happens?
I will take on g6 and then play queen h7 and then probably bishop h3. One of my ideas is to go knight f5 in some position. So I want to play queen h2, takes, queen h7, bishop h3, and once these bishops are off the board, then knight f5 should be a decent option. Sacrificing the piece, then going f6 and all this.
Yeah, that looks very dangerous, actually. But isn't black quite close to playing d5?
Right now, you want to go d5. So let's say pawn takes, and bishop h3 straight away. You have to take on h3, otherwise I'm going to take on d6 and then queen h7 and queen g6. And without this bishop, it's going to be impossible to play d5. That
is true. Unless I want to go for some insane sacrifices, but I don't see how that is going to work because the knight on d7 is a little bit in the way. Exactly. If black had the time, then we would probably play knight f8, maybe?
Yeah, that's a possibility. So let's say bishop h3 and then knight f8. And I'm wondering if knight f5 works. Now, it looks very strong. So takes, and, if you go back, then f6, this is going to be mate very soon, right?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. And Bharat thinking in this position, but still has more than 2 minutes left. And we're getting some comments about the pairings. But I believe that those will be fixed very soon. The pairings on the screen.
Knight f5 straight away. The idea is very interesting. So after gf, he wants to go queen h7, followed by e takes f5, and the bishop is trapped.
That is actually, that is so nice.
Yeah.
That is so nice and so well spotted. But then this must be crushing, no? The king is so weak.
Yeah. We have the bishop pair, weak king, the h-file. So I think this move is good. d5, trying to create some mess, in this position.
At d5, a little bit annoying actually, because we should never take the pawn on d5. Of course, g6 threatening a checkmate.
So you have basically knight d6 or f6. But I believe f6 you don't want to go.
No, definitely not.
So knight d6 makes a lot of sense. Oh, knight f6. And now bishop h6 is just game over. Yeah?
Bishop h6? So what happens after bishop takes h6? You just take on f6?
No, I just take, it's a check, yeah?
Yes.
So I have to take, but then the knight is hanging. G7 is coming as well.
Yeah, G7. Okay. Wow, this is definitely looking great.
Bishop G5.
Bishop G5. But now knight D6 attacks the queen.
Yeah, this.
I like the queen on F5.
An important tempo with the knight on D6. And I guess I have to go. Well, maybe I can take even on E5. I don't know.
I'll take on E5. Oof, taking on G6. I would not have considered that, but with the idea of going Queen F7, that's not a bad idea.
No, I mean if you eliminate the queens off the board, then you can survive this position.
Definitely.
So I will.
How's the material count? The material count is actually even.
It's balanced. Yeah.
Yeah. And you should be careful because if suddenly the queens get traded, then I think white can even have the weaker king when it's only the pieces left on the board because black has a very nice presence in the center.
So that's why he doesn't trade queens. Makes a lot of sense. But I think black is fighting properly now. I mean, well, I want to go bishop d3 next move, probably, and then bishop g6 or bishop f5.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Not easy. Yeah, but e4 is a very nice move. Opening the diagonal for the bishop on g7, creating a lot of mess.
And if I take on e4?
Yeah, I guess I take back on e4.
Okay.
With a pawn,
And then bishop h3.
And then you want to go bishop h3. Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Bishop h3, I guess I take on d1 and then play rook e8. But for sure, I would take white in this position, no doubt.
Yeah.
You can even bring a rook to the f5, and this looks super dangerous for black. Yeah?
And as a famous person said a few days ago, the infamous Lawrence Trent said that fianchettoed knight isn't has never proved to be good. So that knight on b7 needs to find a new way to go.
I shared a flat with Lawrence during 3 years.
Oh, you did?
He is actually one of my best friends. Yeah, we shared a flat in Hamburg.
I had no clue.
Yeah. He studied in my city in Granada. He did Erasmus when he was 19. I was 18, so we became very close friends.
That's really nice.
And he's now preparing.
You seem to have a lot of good friends who are chess players.
Yeah. He's now preparing for a chess boxing match in LA.
Yes, I've seen. I'm definitely going to follow it. I think it's going to be so interesting. But a lot of developments in this game so far. The black king is looking super weak. The fianchettoed knight is looking super ridiculous. And I like the bishop pair for white. So why isn't white just much better?
But now there's no more bishop pair after bishop h6, for example.
That's a nice move.
Or even knight c5. Now the knight is coming to d3. I think I will take black in this position now.
Yeah. Oh, you would?
Yeah, knight d3, and why not? I mean, there are many tactics here. The bishop on g7 could be a monster.
But knight d3, I don't have any takes on e4 tactics.
I guess you can take knight d3, knight e4. I think I can take, right?
I was thinking maybe with the bishop, but I don't know if my pieces are a little bit loose on both c3 and e3.
Knight e4, knight takes e4, bishop takes e4, and then queen e5. Boom!
Oh, that is very close to being checkmate.
Yeah. So
how about an
f1
exchange
is
sacrifice? Rook takes d3. Okay, what's
yeah, that is probably desperate measure, yeah?
Okay, maybe more desperate than needed. But bishop f1, trying to get rid of the knight. Barath also finding the knight very annoying.
So bishop f1, you want to take on d3, you got to do something. Maybe knight g4 attacking the bishop. Maybe preparing this queen e5 that we were mentioning.
Oh yeah, I really like your queen e5 idea, and knight g4 has been played.
Knight g5, knight g4, sorry. And I don't see a move here for white. What do you do? Bishop g1, then queen e5.
Okay, so maybe we have to play bishop e2. Pinning,
bishop e2, just pinning the
knight.
knight.
And if knight e3, bishop h5, knight c2, bishop e8.
Makes sense.
King e8, then we can play king
c2. Yeah, and that's an exchange up for
for
white. So maybe you can't take on e3. So you should maybe unpin. Let's say queen h3, attacking
the bishop once again.
Exactly.
And insane stuff. Pranav winning. You guessed it. Yet another game. This time against Candela. So Ilan Parthi decided to take on e3. We're seeing some trades.
King e8.
And decided to include. Why not king?
I mean,
but
bishop g6.
Wasn't the rook hanging?
Yeah, bishop e8 was definitely possible. Now after bishop g6, I guess you have to go to e7.
But why wasn't it an exchange? I don't understand. Because
it was
e7 takes f. Oh, I'm so confused.
Winning an exchange. Yeah.
I'm so confused
now
about what just happened. Yeah, and that pawn on a3 is looking real good.
Yeah, I will take black for sure in this position.
Okay, so bishop e5. That knight also so strong. Can black arrange the knights in some nice way to create a checkmating attack? Like if we could get a knight to e4 and c3.
Yeah.
So knight f2 here maybe.
And then you bring the bishop to b2, right? So to protect the a3 pawn, and then you just need a knight on c3 to checkmate.
Yeah.
So
here knight d2 actually does protect from knight e4. But maybe we can just go knight f2 anyway. Okay, so
before you have so many pieces there, but we just need the knight on c3 or d2, yeah.
Okay, but I'm also seeing a checkmate for white in this position. If we go rook d8, king c3, then knight e4 next move.
Now knight a2 wins. King takes knight c1, a2 mate.
Oh yeah.
Or even this move.
Yeah, also going to c1 first. But okay, if rook e3, we have to. Okay, we can go back to d4.
Yeah, now knight takes a2. Next move, knight c to a2, and then knight c3.
Knight c3.
It's gonna come. And game over.
Wow. What a finish. I really didn't understand this this bishop f7 move. I also like this, just walking towards the rook here. And knight c3 will be game over.
Yeah, then a2 comes for the check. And that's a queen.
So Ilan Parthi winning an extremely important game against Barath here. And judging from the cameras, Barath is definitely not satisfied with what happened. Here we see the standings. Pranav pulling an amazing score with 28 points. And I believe we do still have games going, no?
Of course.
Okay.
We have Samonenko versus Erdognus. And this knight endgame where white's upon up, but white's game is very far from the action. You know, the h pawn is passed, and if you start rolling that pawn,
no?
It's 2 pawns now, exactly. So I will play b3 very fast in order to create a passer on the queen side. And now probably knight takes e6. Now we start counting. Knight takes, king takes, c4. And
imagine counting with so little time on the clock. So now it's only 1 pawn.
Now
Okay,
B takes
c4.
e4. And he takes, and I guess knight e5, knight f3. That should be a draw. Should be a draw, but the a pawn is going to run extremely fast now.
I like king d5. When the king and the knight they're placed like this, it's very difficult for the black knight to get back when you have this diagonal.
Right.
But now the knight can get back with knight d4.
And knight b3.
I guess knight king
it's a
b6.
draw. Yeah, knight b3, and then you stop the pawn. Okay.
I like knight b3 better.
Yeah, it was easier because now there are some
checkmating patterns.
Yeah, exactly. So with a knight on d5, then a7, knight c7, that should be winning. So
now you have to be a little bit careful. Find the right.
You have to be extremely careful now. I will place a knight on e6. So this way, there's no knight c7 checkmate.
Ah, that's very, very clever. Yes.
And I think this is the only thing you have to do here.
But now there's still king. And if king a6, we always have knight c7.
Yeah, knight c7. So this is a draw. Yeah. Now you start running with the h pawn. Now it's white, the one who has to be careful here. Well, knight c7.
And just going back. Even knight d5.
Careful.
That knight has to go back as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like this will be a draw.
Yeah, it is a draw. In fact.
Okay. So now black will win the a pawn, but the white king is going back to that pawn on h3. Yeah, the players are just they know it will be a draw, but they're just playing it out. And I believe that after this game is finished, that was all the games for this round. Okay, I like knight f3. Just let the computer make it a draw.
Exactly. So standings: Pranav leading 28 out of 30, Samonenkov 26 out of 33, and then third place for Ilan Party, 22 out of 33. And I believe, Helen, we're going to have a guest, Daniel, once again.
Yes.
From the Magnus Academy. Should be joining very soon to comment one round with us, to talk about life, their projects, etc.
Hi, Daniel. Can you hear us?
I can. I'm glad to be back.
Perfect. How are you?
Good. Those were some exciting finishes. I was watching with you guys, and then I also watched the Macroganoff Variation game against Abhimanyu, where it seemed like she had chances, and he squeaked away for a draw.
Yes.
Or for a win.
Yeah. I was just about to say. I think Mishra won the game.
Yeah, he did.
I'm actually very happy that you're back, Daniel, because I didn't get to ask you yesterday, but I can see that you have a very nice collection of books behind you. So I wanted to ask you which one of them is your favorite, because I'm very, very curious about this, because it's some very nice books you have.
Yeah. So, once I realized I was going to be spending a lot of time on Zoom, I was like, I should have a background for myself. So I set up some chess books. I would say that kind of my favorites that I've got back there are, I have Judah Polgar's book on how I beat Fischer's record, where I think she has a great mixture of really good chess content. And it's kind of on her chess from ages 4 or 5 to about 14. And then she also has a lot of fun personal stories about it. Like she talks about going to a tournament at the age where she would still bring a stuffed animal with her.
Yeah. And her winning sweater.
Yeah, and then she has a lucky sweater as well, that she had some tournament where she went and won her first few games in a new sweater. She was like, I can't take the sweater off. And she's, 8 years old. And at some point, after 2 or 3 days of that, her mom took it while she was sleeping to watch it.
Yes.
I also personally really like Move First, Think Later. Have either of you read that?
I've heard mixed feelings about the book.
I would say that it's I don't think he's right about everything, but it's very interesting, and he has kind of sharp elbows. and is willing to go after people if he thinks they've said things that are wrong. And
Yeah.
I would say that it was fun to read, even if about, I don't know, a third of the time I was like, I don't think he's right about this.
Yeah, my favorite
books
book
like
is
that could
The Seven Sins from Jonathan Rosen. Have you read it?
It was
It's
actually,
very nice.
I think it was the first chess book I ever finished.
Mhm.
But that's probably because it was so much text and so little chess.
It's an easy read.
Yes. But
No,
we are
that-
actually we are ready with the games, as you can see here on the
Yeah.
screen. Candela is playing against Barath, and very sharp play with f4 here.
Yeah, probably you're maybe threatening to go e5. So probably the most natural move here is queen c7, just to stop e5,
Mm-hmm.
at least momentarily, right?
Yeah, that makes sense for sure. What
H6.
opening did this come from? Was it
It's
some
a
kind
Sicilian,
of
Sicilian, the
Rossellini?
Moscow variation with bishop d5 check.
Mhm. Okay, and then knight d7. Yes, I see.
Exactly, sharpest line.
Yeah.
And yeah, so bishop h4, still e5 is in the air. I think queen c7 is the most natural move, but you can also push f5, right, in these positions.
Yeah, I think it's always a question about whether you want to play f5 or e5, or how you break in the center for white or for black. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So now the question is, can I go e5 now or not? I guess e5, pawn takes, knight g4. And then suddenly the e5 could be very weak as well in that position. So I'm not sure about this move anymore. I know it's a typical way to proceed, but it's very concrete now. Pawn takes, and knight g4.
And the queen on d3 is unprotected. Maybe this can also,
yeah,
maybe this also matters a little bit. To protect the pawn on e5.
Yeah, this knight is you know,
looking
you
a
don't
little
have
bit
so
silly.
many squares. Yeah, maybe you're gonna go f5 here, otherwise you're losing the piece. Yeah.
But after f5, can't the knight be trapped by h3?
You're more than right. I think I have to play queen c5 there.
Oh wow!
Because this knight is also unprotected, and then I'm also putting pressure against e5. So if you give me one more tempo, let's say after rook d1, now I can escape with knight e5.
That's actually, those are some really, really nice variations. But knight e8 was played instead a little bit more passive, but trying to exchange that dark squared bishop. Now the knight on e4 is trying to get to the d6 square, or maybe the f6 square sometimes if you're really, really ambitious.
Of course, there are so many tricks. For example, after d takes, f takes, you always have to consider this knight f6 check idea. So bishop c6 is being
I like this move. The bishop is always nice on the long diagonal.
Trying to eliminate this e4 knight, which is a nightmare, right?
I always love
you
chess puns.
We're talking about Judith. You know, first time I met Judith was in Tunisia. She was doing a simul, you know, and there was no time for the rest of the simul because we had some dinner with some organizers. So the organizer asked me to decide the results of Judith's games, you know. So you can imagine.
Oh, that is brutal.
Suddenly, I'm just there, and I have to decide if she wins or she loses, depending on the position. She's looking at me. Who is this guy?
I mean, she wins all the games, right? I don't know how else is the decider. You could...
But in some games, she had like she was 2 pawns down or something. So I declared a draw or something. But it was so embarrassing, you know, like having to decide this.
I should mention on the topic of books, one of the things we do with our online academy is we do we have a book club, and so we've been doing it for a couple months now, and we're on our second book. So we're actually doing Judith's Master Your Chess, which I fortunately have here, which is her new book that she did with Chessable. And so one of our coaches will do, I don't know, a series of 8 or 10 weeks of lessons from a book. And then we'll bring in the author at the end to do part of it. So we had we did Beyond Material with Grandmaster Dvorin Kulyasevich last, and then Dvorin came at the end and did a lesson from it. And we've got Judith coming in think a week from today to do.
A week from today. So how do I sign up?
You go to chessacademy.com/trial and you can do a trial class. And then we have an online program.
Chessacademy.com/trial.
Yep.
Okay, I can see it here. I'm ready.
So, there you go.
Guys out there in the chat, if you want to register, you have some questions, please ask. We have Daniel here who can answer all those questions.
So do you have an age limit?
We mostly do ages like 5 to 14, but we have some stuff for like 14 to 17. I think you're a little bit too old.
In my heart, I'm still a kid. No, I really love the idea of a book club. I'm a huge fan of books myself, chess and non-chess books. And if you have like a very nice book and you just love the author, like Judith Polgar, then getting to meet the author is just incredible.
Yeah.
What's going on here then?
Another fianchettoed night.
Yeah, never a good idea to have a fianchettoed night, yeah?
Yeah,
the structure is terrible for black. Yeah.
This is a typical French thing. You play f6 and you take back with the g pawn. It's it always looks worse than it is.
Queen h3. Now h6 is under attack, so basically black plays f5 in order to, I think, to bring the queen to g5 or f6 to protect the h pawn.
Yeah, for sure. That rook on c6 can also become a lot better after this f5 move, because the rook can go to d6 with the knight not on e4. And what I really like for black here is that the knight on g3, is actually kind of restricted by the pawn on f5. It will take quite a bit of time for the knight to get back into play via maybe e2 and d4 and f3. But whenever you move the knight to e2, you always have to look out for e5.
Yeah, e5, rook g6, and suddenly these pawns are very dangerous here.
And I have an idea with black. I want to go knight e8, knight f6. What do you think of this?
Well, maybe it's beautiful, but maybe a little bit slow. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, I understand. It's just these fianchettoed knights. Lawrence Trent, he's really taught me a lot here that I'm not supposed to have them.
By the way, Daniel, do you organize tournaments with your students or?
Yeah, so we do tournaments on weekends, and so that's part of what we do. And they're mostly scholastic tournaments, and for ages and for skill levels, kind of up to about 1600 mostly. And then by and large, around that point, kids move on to playing in adult open tournaments, and there's a whole separate world. We do a few online as well on Wednesdays. And in fact, when often if we have a guest like Judith, we'll do a simul with them. And the way you qualify is in our Wednesday evening tournaments.
That's nice.
So we had, when Magnus came in March, he played 12 kids, and that was how they qualified. Magnus went 12-0 in those games. There was no need for a judge to evaluate winners. He cruised through pretty quickly, even against the stronger players.
No mercy with the kids, yeah?
No, he was ruthless.
I mean, you're also supposed to be ruthless when it comes to kids. That's the only way they will learn.
Okay. Sometimes you lose a game, and then that's a good way to learn and improve.
Yeah, exactly. So Daniel, how do you like this position here? Who would you choose?
I think I would rather be white because of that. Just the king feels much safer. Although it's not easy to really come up with plans for white to attack black's king, even though those pawns look kind of busted in front of the king. It seems fairly balanced though. Like black has the advantage that you can push the e pawn at some point.
Now white has to be very careful because rook h4 is actually a threat, just winning the queen. Well, you'll have rook g7, king g7 is just an exchange, but some materials. And she realized, and then now she can go with the queen to g3.
Yeah, I was a huge fan of this rook d4 move. Just activating the rook on the d file looked very nice.
I have mixed feelings with this position because, as Daniel said, like black skin looks a little bit, shaky, but these pawns are also very nice. At some point, they can start, rolling in the center, gaining a lot of space.
Where should white be trying to move their knight to? I was trying to figure that out with the knight on c3 where it was so blocked. And like I was thinking maybe knight e2, but now I'm looking and like I don't know where the next step would be because
well, g1, f3, e5.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice route.
Thank you. That's what I do.
Okay, now rook d2 looks very nice, activating the rook in the 7th rank, targeting the a2 pawn.
Oh, and there's also a threat of, no, there's not, sorry, because I was going to say queen e3, rook takes e2, but g3 is protected.
Yeah. There might be something with knight g3 at some point. Like, I don't know if black might be able to play.
No, now the threat is actually queen e5, I believe. Because
for that exact reason.
h2, so queen e3 was played. And now it's tough to say because the engine is saying queen b2, but it's not an easy move to make, because queen e6 is coming.
And I just have to say, Pranav, we need to call the vet. We really, really need to call the vet.
He won again or what?
Yes.
Wow.
But probably he's due a draw now because he won the first 5 games, then he made a draw. Now he's won another 5 games. So doesn't that mean he'll play a draw?
Maybe. Here we have to say that queen g5 was winning in the spot because of, what are you going to do here? Well, there's no move, basically.
Queen f3?
Queen f3, then you just play queen f4, and then there are some background problems, yeah?
Yeah.
So now okay. Ooh,
oh, the blind swine mate once again on the board.
Yeah, rook h2 and rook g2 checkmate.
I can say that just because you know the names of the checkmate patterns, it's you're not guaranteed to actually become a better chess player, but at least you will be able to recognize those checkmates.
Yeah, you look smart. So
yes.
It's always good.
We do have some more games running. Let's take a look.
Yes. For example, Lu from China versus Grell. Looks very bad. Queen g3, bishop f3. And
and then it's a lot of pawns here for black.
Like how many? Like 3 pawns, yeah?
Well, at this hour, I can't count. But yes, it does look like 3.
It seems like it should be, I don't know, black has a lot of pawns to push.
Yeah. But sometimes having too many pawns can actually also be an issue. I once played a game where I had 3 more pawns than my opponent, and it was just, to me, it just seems like everything should just be winning so easily. So I just pushed all my pawns, and suddenly some of them dropped, and in the end, I had to win a rook endgame with 2 pawns more. But it was still.
So then having too many pawns is a bad thing, right, Ellen?
Yeah, like just take the ones you need.
Okay.
But I like this queen e7 move, trying to go to f6.
Yeah, now rook g8 or queen g5. That's the most practical way of finishing the game, yeah?
And even, b4, c4.
Yeah, b4, c4. King g6, king f5, king e5 is coming, so...
Yeah, and it'll be
those are
5
some very
connected
nice pawns.
Yeah. 4 pass pawns. Yeah? Now king e5. And this is game over, actually. King d5 and rook c5.
Now black should even trying to be playing a connect 4, getting the pawn to d2, e3, f4, and g5. That would be nice. Okay, it does seem like Lu, she could resign in this position. But it is our last position. No, sorry. Wait.
There's one more
it's not
game
our
that's
last
still
position.
going. Or 2 more, maybe.
Mishra still playing, probably.
Mishra.
Against Samanenkov.
It's like Mishra has just picked up a queen.
No,
or rather, has just lost a queen.
Yes.
He just lost a queen.
Okay.
Yeah. So not this tournament, definitely.
No, you'd probably, or he had definitely hoped to to do better. But you know, Blitz is ruthless, absolutely ruthless.
So I think we're finished, right? This round on the standings. So Pranav is leading 31 out of 33, and Samonenkov with 29 out of 36. So Daniel, something else you want to say before we leave you rest?
Sure. Thank you guys so much for having me join. If people are interested in trying the online academy, you can go to chessacademy.com/trial and give it a shot. We have like a $5 trial class that you could do this week, and it should be a lot of fun. We'll look at a very famous game, and then you'll play a little tournament with the other kids in the group.
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you both so much for having me today.
Yeah, thank you for
Daniel.
joining us.
All right.
Such a pleasure. Take care then.
Take care.
Likewise.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, Ellen, so tell me.
Tell you. Some very, very exciting both chess, and it was great to hear about the academy, because of course this is the Magnus Chess Academy Challenge, where the youngsters they're playing Blitz to get into the final, and I don't know what to say. I'm like completely lost for words. Pranav is just picking up so many points, and it keeps on going.
Yeah, but still, don't forget that Samonenkov is chasing him, only 2 points behind. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, the only difference between Pranav and Samonenkov is that Samonenkov lost to Pranav. Right. Otherwise, they both have no. And then he also played another
draw. He took
draw.
the bye already, right? Pranav took the bye already, and Samonenkov has to do it. So it's even better for Pranav.
And I have to say, I'm also happy to see Goulinet getting a few more points. So yeah, a very, very exciting day for sure. Do you think we have 3 rounds left? So Ilan Parthi and Barath, they're both chasing Samonenkov, and Samonenkov still needs another bye. That means Samonenkov only has 2 more games left. It is possible for Ilan Parthi and Barath to overtake Samonenkov, but do you think it's possible? Do you think it can happen?
So how many points? Let me check. 7 points, right?
Yeah.
And Samonenkov?
Only playing
Samonenkov now.
Samonenkov is playing Sahiti and Van Faris in round 13 and 14.
I mean, let me just check the pairings once again. Samonenkov is facing, you said, Mishra, right? No, Mishra. He just played against Mishra, right?
Samonenkov is playing Sahiti.
Well, it's very difficult, but still possible, yeah? Okay, I think the game's already started. What game do you want to check now?
Well, let's take Sahiti against Samonenkov.
All right.
Because Samonenkov...
a victory would mean actually that he qualifies.
I think. Yes, if it's a draw, then he's still not qualified as of yet. But a victory is a definite either first or second place. So going for d4, g3, we've seen so much 1 e4 in this tournament. So it's nice to finally see a d4 game.
Yeah, this could lead to a Catalan after c4. We are actually in the Catalan now. There are many ways to play against the Catalan. Bishop b4 check, d5, c5. This bishop b4 check looks very stupid sometimes, because now people go, in many cases, bishop e7. And what's the point of having allowed white to go an extra tempo with bishop d2? The reason is that this square is ideal for the knight in the Catalan, not for the bishop, because in many cases later on you want to play e4 once the pawn is on d5. So that's why white has to lose another extra tempo, bringing the bishop to f4, and this is why bishop b4 is a reasonable move. But okay, they went for this Bogo Indian type of position with queen e7 instead of bishop d7.
Yeah, so the mainline stuff here is just to go bishop g2, as has also been played. And then there are a few different options for black. There's both some castles, some d5, some knight c6.
Yeah, knight c6 is very interesting, because if you go knight f3, which is, I think, normal, right? The black's idea is to capture here And
And
then
sometimes play
knight
d6 and e5, right?
Yeah, knight
or
e4
knight
and then
e4.
queen b4. And this actually is close to equalize. So
Aha.
that's why you play e3. And then, well, you delay a little bit development of the knight to f3 in order to stop these ideas with knight e4.
Okay, she decided to take on d2, which I actually... Don't you usually wait a little bit with taking, actually?
Usually wait a little bit, because now I think this is very nice for white. You have a lot of space. So knight c3, knight f3, e4.
Can you even play e4 here? Or maybe you want the knight on c3 first to just avoid these knight d4 ideas?
Yeah, I think you can play e4 as well, but I think it doesn't matter. Now e4 looks nice. You can even develop now the knight to e2, which is probably even nicer than on f3.
Yeah, because sometimes, playing that f4 with the knight on
sometimes you can, exactly, you can push your pawns to knight e2, short castle f4, and then attack like crazy. Why not?
Okay, we're going for knight f3, a little bit more solid here. How would you play with black?
Well, I will push e5 at some point. I need to win some space in the center. Yeah, I'm very passive with my pawns on the 6th rank and all my pieces on the 7th and 8th rank. So I think e5 it's needed here.
Okay, because, also opening up for the bishop on c8 makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, makes sense.
How would you reply as white after e5?
Well, I will
because
go
there are a few different
short
ways,
castle.
Right?
Short castle, and if black goes e4, then you just play knight g5, bishop f5, and then you go f3. And I think that position is very nice for white. So.
And do you ever want to go d5?
No, I think, well, it could be. But usually when black, for example, brings a knight to c6, the idea is to go knight d5 in those positions.
Okay.
I think I actually have this in my analysis versus the Bogo Indian. Yeah, I think actually knight d5 takes, knight d4 takes, and rook e1. And this position is very pleasant for white. So you're going to capture this pawn, you're going to put pressure against c7, you're going to play e4, and white's a little bit better.
And you're not scared about that bishop on g2. Okay, no. Long variation. But bishop e5 and bishop g4 were played.
Yeah, and actually I played a game like this in the Portuguese league versus Ferreira, which is Portuguese IM. João Pereira. And now I played knight a1, which is a very, very strange move. But the idea is, well, just to bring the knight to c2, and then, well, it's very comfortable with the white pieces. You then proceed with e4, and then at the end of the day, you bring this knight to e3, attacking this bishop with a tempo. Yeah.
This knight e1, knight c2 idea is also seen in many King's Indian and English openings. So,
that's right.
But Ihor here taking some time. Was knight actually h4. Almost a whole minute up, but going for knight h4. Attacking the pawn on b7.
So I guess black will reply with knight c6.
Why not c6? Trying to restrict the bishop on g2 a little bit.
Could be, yeah, c6. And now I guess e4 makes a lot of sense. I wanted to go knight c6 to force white to do something with the center. Because now this is once again very, very pleasant.
Yeah. I understand. But c6, Sahiti, unfortunately, listening to me. And after h3, goes back to c8 with the bishop.
Yeah, and of course, something has gone wrong with black pieces because bishop g4, bishop c8 is not the way to go, right?
Yeah, and h3 actually, I guess white isn't so sad about it because in many variations, you play this move anyway to stop a trade of the dark squared bishops. So, but knight a6 here. Yeah, the knight is a little bit further away from the center, but okay, it can go to c7 still.
Yeah. So there are many ways to play with the white here. You can play rook fe1, you can play king h2, you can play f4. The idea that you were mentioning, you can play rook fe1 in order to continue with knight f5. And if bishop takes f5, e takes f5, then there could be some troubles along the e file.
Yeah. Yeah, the knight on f5 is just so nice. And if it's taken, then the bishop on g2 opens up. And as you said, the e file opens up. Okay, putting the rook on e1 first is also very, very nice. Preparing knight f5 and taking with the e pawn.
Right. And this knight is also not ideally placed on c7. And I could think about going d5 in these positions because this knight is going to look very clumsy on c7.
Yeah.
So this is just a dream for white, this position.
But I guess if d5, black plays c5, and we have a kind of King's Indian position.
But with the knight on c7, which is, it's very clumsy there. You can
don't, okay, without d5. Because I was going to say that there might be some b5 ideas, or f5 ideas. But she goes c5 without d5. I haven't seen this type of idea before.
And now you give white the option of taking on c5 or e5 and then use the d5 square somehow, right?
Yeah.
And then if black takes, then you'll get a passer, protected pass pawn. You can also proceed with the pawn takes and the f4.
Yeah, I have to say I really don't like the c5 move. It seems mistimed, just because also white can use the d5 square, and there's a long way for black to get to the d4 square.
Yeah, I understand Sahiti. You know, the position is very bad. You know, it's very passive. So she's want to react somehow. But of course, this is just very good for white. For example, f4 here.
Yeah.
And what are you gonna do if you take on f4? Then even pawn takes e4. Well, here I just blundered, right? With
because the knight on f4 is h4 is hanging, yes.
So maybe here I have to go knight f5 first. And the problem if you take is that you don't have proper squares for the queen. You gotta go queen d8 and then queen f4. You should target b7.
Definitely, and Semenenkov also doing as you were saying, just taking on e5, but actually going knight to d5 now. Trying to open up for the e file in this way, maybe threatening f4. Now having a passed pawn. So queen d6. If only black had tempo more to go knight d8, knight d6. But unfortunately, the knight is too far away.
Right, that's the ideal square for the knight, right? Just blocking the passer over there, putting pressure on c4, but then there were a lot of troubles on the e file. So this is why.
Actually going f4 here, that's very interesting. Willingly ruining the pawn structure.
To trade queens, and then this guy can run. So there's no more blockade against the d5 pawn, right?
Yeah, once again, if I just had a tempo more. So what if takes on... Oh, f4? Because I was going to say it takes on f4, queen f4, knight e8, but then I realized rook takes e8.
Rook takes e8 just wins.
Yeah.
Queen f4, rook f8, intermediate move. Bye-bye.
Oh, that is very sweet. So knight e8, not an option. And if you have to take on f4, the endgame is looking very tough. You would like to go knight e8, knight d6 in one move, but knight e8, I guess d6 is just played.
Yeah, d6. And it's not easy to develop because this guy is also hanging. Rook d8 is being played. And now in many cases, you are going to be able to play b4 because if pawn takes c5 and then d6.
Oh, some typical sacrifices in these structures. And actually, we can, as far as I have calculated, officially say congratulations to Pranav for winning the Magnus Chess Academy Challengers Tournament with an amazing score right now of 34 out of 36, winning the first 5 games, making a draw, and then winning 6 games in a row. The reason Pranav have actually won the tournament now is because he is 5 points ahead. But Ihor only... Wait, he's 5 points ahead. And Ihor has... wait, no, never mind. I can't calculate. Oh, he hasn't won. No. Okay, sorry. It's just... Ihor has 2 games.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Never mind. Pranav has to lose the next 2 games, and Ihor has to win this game and the next for Ihor to win. Very close. I'm sorry. I hope I didn't jinx anything. Wasn't on purpose. Let's keep going. What's happening? 95. Yes. So a lot has happened in this position.
Here you could actually play takes in d6 because you go rook d8, well, 95, or even rook e8 and d7 was looking nice. But okay, knight e5 and then bishop b7 and no more tricks, and suddenly black is fighting with an 8 on d6.
Yes, this knight that I have very much loved to have on d6 is finally ready to go there. Yeah. Okay, rook d6 instead.
Still is a very bad position for black. Yeah, you can never take on c6. That pawn is very dangerous if you take it. And well, bishop f1 maybe, rook e7.
Just protecting the pawn on c4. Wow, knight b8. That is fancy.
Checkmating one move.
Yes.
So.
Luckily, the bishop on a6 is protected.
I didn't like this maneuver.
No, because now the dark squares, they're actually in a bit of trouble. Can you go knight d6? Rook b6 is also a very nice move here.
Strategically, this is risky for white, you know. Knight on d6 is going to do the job. Now, for example, rook e8, I like this move. Exchange a pair of rooks and then capture this guy.
And the knight on d6 is also protecting f7, which is kind of important because if the rook on e1 went to e7, the pawn wouldn't be hanging. But rook e8 now. Yeah, this is well played by Sahiti.
Yeah, I don't like f6 at all, you know.
No.
Now bishop f1 and troubles. Bishop f1 and troubles.
Will he find it? Oh, he didn't find it actually.
What's going on here?
Oof.
8 seconds, knight b5, rook f7. Take everything over there.
Oh, all the pieces, all the pawns, they are dropping.
Yes, rook a7, and now rook a6, and rook f6 probably.
Oh, then it's just 3 pawns, right?
Too many pawns.
Too many pawns.
Also a6, a7, and this is going to be game over. d6, and the bishop controls the promoting square.
Ah, I see. Yeah, that is that really does look like it's just winning for white. I have to say I was a little bit hoping for Sahiti to save the game so that I didn't look like a huge idiot. But it seems like she will lose this one, trying to create the best counterplay she can, getting that pawn all the way to c2. But after rook c8, rook c7, there's no way to stop the pawn going to a8.
Well, you can play knight b5. Because after a8, you take, and then I promote. But rook c2, knight a7 still win in this position for sure.
Yes. So the pawn on d6 will promote, yeah?
I guess d7, rook d8, rook d2, knight b5, still fighting. Well, now rook d7, knight c8 was getting the pawn back on d6.
But how do you? Oh, I was gonna say knight b6. How do you protect the pawn? Rook d6 probably.
Rook d6, right? And if you take, then the knight is pinned.
Yeah. Okay, but now the bishop got all the way to h3. Do you play some kind of f5? Well, not anymore.
Not anymore, yeah.
Maybe, do you think we could get a rook and bishop against rook?
No,
but bishop f5 is good. Bishop f5 is very good.
I think not in this game.
It's going to be a Suksvang very soon, probably.
Yeah, with the
rook d6.
Exactly. Now you push h6.
Yeah.
And then king h5 all the way.
Yeah, this is very nicely played by Simonenkov.
Yes, a lot of pressure, torture in this game. Now there's no more moves for the knight. Yeah, now you can even take if you want, for sure. Then just bring the rook back and then proceed with the king.
Yeah. And then the next move will be king g6 or king g5, depending on what black is. Yeah.
Yeah, king g5. Give me that.
And actually, even if this was f and h, it would be a winning f and h. So there is no hope in this position.
No hope at all. King f7 and king e7 if you want, and that's it.
Yes. Okay, well, congratulations to Semenenko for, well, I shouldn't say anything because I probably jinxed the whole thing. But Semenenko still with a fighting chance to clinch first place. But it does mean that he has to win the next game against Sven Farist, and Pranav has to lose both his next games.
Exactly. And there we go. Checkmate on the board. And I think still this game going on between Gurel and Anastasia.
Aha. So this is very, very interesting. Now h4.
Not
the
easy.
bishop protects both the pawns.
And it's never easy to, I mean, whenever I go with the king to c4, then the bishop goes back to e1 and protect both pawns at the same time. So I think this should be a draw.
We can do some nice stuff where we use the king and try to push the black king back, trying to create some kind of Zugzwang. I guess there's always a check with the bishop or something.
Yeah, I guess the idea is to bring the rook to e4.
Ah, but yeah, rook e4 now.
And you're going to get the pawn. Yeah, now you get the pawn on h4. And the idea is very simple now. It's to sacrifice on b4 in proper conditions.
When you get the opposition. So you want
exactly
rook b4, bishop b4, king takes b4 with the black king on b6.
Exactly. For example.
Now trying to bring the king around.
Mm-hmm.
King e7, king d7 will be played.
Yeah, in this, I mean, with this configuration, rook takes b4. If
works
king is on
always.
b5
Yes.
works.
Mm.
Works.
Yeah, and of course, Gurel knows this.
Now you can take on b4. You can.
Yes.
And
Bishop
after
b4,
takes,
king b4, king c6, king a5. But there's actually still one trick. I believe Anastasia, she should keep on playing, and then she should see if Aiden goes the right way when the pawn gets to b6. Like, because if she can, okay. But maybe we should keep this going. So let's say black plays king b8, b4, king a8, b5, king b8. And then let's just imagine that the king is on b6. So king b6. And black goes king a8. Now, if... no, I want that position with white to move, sorry. So can we play king a5?
Yeah, king a5 here.
It's black, okay.
e5, king b8.
Yeah, king b8, king a5,
Draw.
king c8. Yeah, I just want to show king c8, king b6, king b8, and then if king c6, you have to go to a6 if you want to win this, yeah? Because now there's king a8. No, king a7, sorry, king a7, king a7. This is the trick, yes. And now if b6 is a draw.
King a8.
Yeah.
Nice.
It took me a while to get there, but I got there. And
You
then
got there. That's
so white has to go
what
to
matters.
a6. Yes. That was
okay, but it looks like Gurel knew this endgame, and Anastasia decided to resign as well.
Yes, and we are ready with the next round. Everyone seemed to have started. Where do you want to go?
Let me check. So let me see the standings. So Pranav is already guaranteed the first place, yeah?
No. That was where I was wrong. That was where I was wrong.
So then let's check Pranav's game versus Anastasia if you want. But you
Yeah,
wanna check?
let's do that.
So because if he wins this game, I think he wins because Samonenkov is now taking the bite. No, he's taking the bite in the last round.
Yeah.
So that means that he won score.
Yeah, so all Pranav needs in this game is a draw to win the tournament.
It's a draw, exactly.
Yeah. But I
So-
believe he will go for winning the last two games as well.
Of course, he's a beast.
Actually, still a draw, and then if Pranav loses the last game, it's still they still have equal points if Semenenkov wins this one.
Okay.
So a win is secured for sure.
One important thing in this position is that you can never capture this pawn on e4 because of bishop d5, double attack. You should always pay attention to the unprotected pieces.
Yes, this trick is very important to know. I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, wow, that's pretty nice.
Queen e7. Whenever there is a queen on the e file, I just bring the rook to the e file as well.
Yeah, makes sense. So what we also see here is that Pranav probably still in prep, I would guess. This should be a theoretical position, right? I don't know much about e4, e5.
Well, this queen e7 is not very natural in this position, but so I think they're not in prep anymore.
Okay, so knight a5, bishop c2 on the board. Do you ever bring the knight to c4 here?
I guess it's natural, yeah. Knight c4. Maybe you are forcing me to go back to c1.
Ah, so bishop c1. But then maybe also, are you playing b3 on the next move then?
Exactly. So it's not the end of the world for white for sure.
Okay, but c4 here attacking the center.
Well, the usual way to reply is just to close the position with b5. And then after knight c4, once again, bishop c1, followed by your b3. And
I like how quickly Pranav is playing here. Already gaining a minute on the clock compared to Anastasia in this position.
Knight d2, so they decide to keep the tension. And at the same time controls the c4 square. So now it makes a lot of sense to play d5 because now knight c4 is not possible anymore. And I believe black's idea is to play c4 after d5. So you exchange the pair of dark squared bishops.
Well, I have to say I never understand like these kind of pawn structures in the center. I never know what you play when. When do you play d5? Is black ever going to play c4? When do you keep the tension? It's
tough,
yeah.
Yeah, that's why to study the real Lopez is very good when you're learning chess because it's so rich. All the pieces are in the board. You haven't exchanged any single pawn. And there's so many plans and ideas. So that's why I always recommend people who are starting with chess to study the real Lopez.
Yeah, I think I'm too late for that. I think it's just
Come on.
There's
You're
too
21.
much. Yes, I'm
the
getting
old guy
old.
here, yeah? I'm the old guy here.
Okay, but b4 trying to attack white on the queen side. I'm so confused always. Okay, now I know that we take back on e5, but I have to say I like black here. It's just more space. It's always nice.
I think it's a decent position for black for sure. The bishop is going to come to b7 probably.
Yeah.
Or e6. Well, e6 is tougher because of the e5 pawn.
But I have to say I really like Pranav's position here, and I really like his time advantage as well.
Well, I think knight b3 is a mistake because of bishop e3 and then knight c4. Bishop e3, knight c4, and then you just blunder the pawn on b2.
Ah, okay. Yeah. That just seems like a clear pawn.
Yeah. I mean, we have to see if the knight can be trapped or something on b2, but I don't think so because you can always play bishop e6 or even bishop d7 to put pressure against a4, and the knight goes away by c4's a4. So
yeah. So knight b2, queen e2.
Well, not so sure, yeah. So, but I guess bishop d7 is enough.
How about bishop e6? Then we can get the knight to c. But then e5 is hanging.
Yeah,
like you said earlier, and knight c6 is a threat.
So probably this is still fine, but it's not a clean pawn as I thought.
Yeah, and these are actually the moves on the board. So we did see knight b2, queen e2. Yeah, so what do you do with black here to get the knight out? Because I guess bishop b1 is an actual threat.
Yeah, bishop b1 is just winning the game. on the spot. So you better do something. I think you have two options here: Bishop D7 or Bishop E6
to attack the pawn on A4.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or Bishop E6. No more options, I would say.
Okay, but let's say Bishop E6, Knight E5, Queen E7.
Queen E7. The queen is already on E7, right?
C7.
Queen C7.
Yes, that was what I meant.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm looking at the bishop on C2. I'm looking at the C3 square, the C4 square.
Yeah,
Maybe I can bring a rook to E8.
Looks nice, this idea that you mentioned.
Played Knight H5.
Knight H5, very aggressive, but now Bishop B1.
I don't understand. Isn't it trapped?
Ooh, Rook B1 and now.
Oh, but now.
Well, it's not clear because it looks like you're still winning the piece. Rook B6, look at that. Such a nice attacking idea.
Wow.
Rook G6 is coming.
Just giving away the knight on B2 for free to bring the rook to G6. This
Pranav is such a great player, so aggressive. Now Rook G6 looks terrible for white. You're gonna play G3. You're gonna play G3 and then H3 is hanging.
And just look at the pieces on the queen side, like the rook on A1, rook on B2, knight on B3, bishop on C2. But even like they could be used for defense if the bishop on C2 ever moves and the rook protects along the second file, the second rank. Yeah, why don't we have to play G3, right?
Yeah.
You can't
G3,
allow rook takes G2.
G3, bishop H3, queen E1, and still I don't see how you finish the game with the black pieces. The bar is saying that black is completely winning, but in practice, it's not that simple. It's not that simple. Maybe rook C8, rook C3, or something like that is a plan, but there's no direct finish on the king side yet.
How about queen E1, bishop G4?
Bishop G4, and if I go, let's say knight H2?
Then knight E2 check.
Yeah, king H1.
I don't know, maybe some rook G5.
Yeah, it could
but
be.
Then you take on G4.
Yes, and then the knight on E2 is hanging. No, it's not that easy. Yeah. This could go wrong as well for Pernac pretty soon if he is not accurate. And maybe rook C8, rook C3 to put more pressure against F3, against G3.
But doesn't that take a long time?
It takes a lot of time. That's why. Bishop G4. You see how difficult is chess now? The engine is saying that white is back in the game.
But also your bishop G2 move was very knight H2 move was very nice. I hadn't seen this at all. And now queen E3. But now your rook C8 idea comes with a lot more power, doesn't it? Because of rook C3 attacking the queen on E3.
Right, rook C8.
Oh, and he finds it. Wow. He is a beast.
He's a beast.
That's insane.
Rook C3 is winning the game on the spot, so you better move the knight from F3, I would say. I don't know, maybe to H4, maybe to H2. But I'm worried about moving the knight to H4 because of, this kind of...
Queen takes H4 ideas once again.
Maybe it's not working now, but
he's
maybe
definitely calculating it. And look at the time, 8 seconds versus 3 minutes.
It's going to be almost impossible for Anastasia to survive in this position.
Yeah. Okay, but how do we actually continue with black here? Because rook C3, knight takes G6 is an issue.
Yeah.
So we need to do something else.
Well, or you sacrifice the queen or you move the rook away. There are no more options. Or rook C6, rook G to C6, or queen H4.
I was going to say, if you're a Pranav, do you try to go rook G5 and get a draw with knight F3 because you win the tournament? But no,
he's a beast.
He wants to win each and every single game.
And now bishop D1, rook C3, winning a tempo sounds good to me.
Yeah, always. Now the queen does not have a lot of squares. It goes to E1. Oh, but knight D3 is a fork with the rook on B2 and the queen on E1.
Wins. Yeah, knight D3 is just game over. Yeah.
And Pranav has plenty of time to calculate these things out.
Only 3 seconds for Anastasia. He just moved with 1 second in the clock. Oof.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything to do after after knight d3, we just take on b2 on the next move.
Hmm.
And we only gave a piece for two, like it's a piece for 2 pawns only.
Mm-hmm.
It's not more than that. I like that Pranav is thinking here, trying to find the best continuation, starting by taking on f5, and I guess he'll go knight d3 now.
Yeah.
Just trying to get rid of the counterplay that white could have. Sorry,
Okay.
but he doesn't take the rook.
No. And now, okay, white is fighting. Yeah. Now c2 now. Queen e2 was needed.
To stop c2 from happening.
Exactly. Now c2 is just winning a piece once again. Well, maybe he's gonna try bishop e2 or something like that.
So bishop e2. Can we? Okay. The c1 square is plenty protected.
Yeah. So maybe rook b8 just wins again, because you're how you're gonna protect this knight? You move this knight away, then c1, or rook b1. Rook b1 check. If you don't go to d2, of course.
Yeah. And I think Pranav will find rook b8. Rook b8, knight d4, rook b1, yeah?
Yeah, rook b1.
Also rook c3. And now I guess we can just take a queen. Because rook takes c1, rook takes c1.
Yeah.
Oh wait, knight takes c1, knight takes f5, knight takes e2. Gets 2 pawns in the knight endgame, but decides to go for queen f6 instead.
Rook b1.
And the knight on d4 is also hanging. So there are a few different options here. Okay, decided to take the exchange. So probably we will just stay with this game, watch the end, I guess.
Yes.
And now actually forcing a trade of queens, and then probably
a4 falls.
Yeah, this is resigns.
This is game over.
I don't think she will keep on playing despite having a tricky night. Nights they can be tricky. And yeah, okay, now we can finally say congratulations to Pranav for winning this Magnus Academy Challengers Tour, Challengers Chess Tour tournament. A huge congratulations. This is actually amazing. So far, having scored 12.5 out of 13. And indeed, what a way to win the tournament with that piece sack and that attack against the white king. But of course, also a congratulations to Samunenkov for... no, give me a second. I need to calculate. Yes, congratulations to Samunenkov for qualifying. Also for the final against Yesipenko and Sadwani, the 29th and 30th of October.
Exactly. And here Mishra won his game. Let's go to Sahiti versus Aiden. What's going on here?
Wow, that does indeed look really complicated.
The queen on h3 is almost trapped, but it cannot be attacked. Well, knight f4. Wow, rook g6. Beautiful. Knight f4 was winning the queen.
What, rook g6? I need to understand this. What happens if you take it?
The knight f4 check and then fork, yeah?
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
But I think here was better even to play knight f4. Knight f4.
Knight f4 immediately. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And then you win the queen. Because the way the game continued now, well, white is winning, but you gotta be careful still because
that knight on f1 is very very annoying, yeah? So now
this is completely winning now.
Actually, the only check left is on a4, but that doesn't help anything.
Yeah, king e2, and then no more checks. And you gotta resign soon.
And if you pick up the pawn on a5, white can always pick up the pawn on b7 and try to promote the b pawn.
Yeah.
Instead, she decides to go queen e3.
Yeah, that's a better try. Because now you can try maybe f3, but I think this
f3, there should be some checks picking up the pawn.
Queen d7 just wins now. And well, the queen g4 and queen f3, that's it.
Yeah. Okay, so Sahiti winning her game. We do still have Samonenkov against Van Verriest left. That is one far advanced pawn.
Black
and the king is
winning.
cut off. Yeah.
Exactly. So king C5, king C4, king B3, and game over.
So unfortunate for Semenenkov, he actually can't catch Pranov because Semenenkov will have a bye in the last round, meaning that even though Pranov is only 2 points ahead, he cannot get there.
Okay,
but
he's
still, he's only 13 years old, and he managed to get second place with an amazing score. Also, I'm so impressed. I am really impressed by all of them.
That's right. So in the last round, what game do you want to follow? It's the last game that we're gonna follow, Ellen. So you gotta pick.
Well, so all the standings are there. Well, not all the standings, but the important standings 1 and 2, they are fixed. So we pretty much have everything that we can choose from. We can see, or I can see here on my screen, that Ilamparthi, Bharat, and Gurel, they're all sharing the 3rd to 6th place with 25 out of 39. So maybe we should watch one of their games to see who will get 3rd place.
Okay, then which game?
Ooh, maybe Gurel against Mishra.
Okay, Mishra versus Gurel.
Yes.
How did you get into chess, Ellen?
Oh, both my parents are chess players, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Nilssen, they're title players.
Yes.
Yeah,
both of them.
Okay, Nilssen, they're... So who's your father?
My dad is an IM from the Faroe Isles. He's called Jan Arne Nilssen.
Okay.
And then my mom is a woman FIDE master from Denmark, Louise Fredericia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I got into chess quite late, because usually when you're a kid, you don't really want to do the same as your parents, yeah?
Right. You want to escape from that world. I understand.
Exactly. So they didn't manage to convince me to play chess until I was 10 years old. I mean, it's not late, but by today's standards, you know.
Yeah. Today there are 10 years old kids that are grandmasters. So.
Yes. How about you?
No, I started with 5 years old or something. My dad taught me to
that's
the
so nice.
around, and then I got in, in some activities in the school, and that's how.
Yeah.
But do you do any other sports or?
Sports is eating ice cream. No, I do like running, but I got injured some time ago. So these days I go to the gym instead, but I'm not good at it, and I feel very awkward when I'm there, you know.
In the gym?
Yeah. So I'm just taking it slow, you know.
Yeah, step by step.
Exactly. One step at a time. Not much else to do. Yeah, I can do push-ups. Well, I can do approximately 1 push-up
per day.
But my goal is to be able to do 1 pull-up, and then I will be happy. Oh yes, another knight orf. I am happy, and this time we're seeing a bishop e3. Okay, knight f3, knight orf.
Yeah,
these are interesting.
Positional approach.
Now
knight b3. Yeah.
This time I'm certain. Furusha versus.
Are you sure?
Nakamura? No. Nakamura
this time
versus Furusha. Sure? Yes, in the candidates. Nakamura played with knight f3.
Yeah. I'm gonna agree with this one.
Thank you.
Queen e2. So as you guys see, so the d5 square is gonna be a key square in this middle game, right? So sooner or later, white will try to occupy it with a minor piece, ideally a knight.
Yeah.
And the rook is gonna come to d1 for sure.
I guess sometimes you go with bishop e6, right?
Yes, you fight for the d5 square with bishop e6. If white takes on e6, f takes e6. It's true that black has double pawns, but at the same time, the e6 pawn controls 2 important squares, d5 and f5, and also you get a semi-open file on the f file and the rook has some prospects over there. Sorry.
Yeah. So what do you do about the bishop on d5 in a position like this? Because I guess bishop e6 is a little bit loose because of the pawn on b7.
Well, the pawn on b7 is protected with the knight on a5, so you can do it. Right? So I guess bishop e6 is natural now. You can take on d5 as well, but then knight takes d5 is okay, I think.
Yeah. Okay, it does go for bishop e6.
And now I believe that rook d1 should be playable in this position. Rook f to d1. So my idea all the time is to capture on d5 with a piece.
With a piece, yes.
So if you capture with a pawn, it's not ideal because then d6 is not a weakness anymore, and black gets a nice majority on the king side.
Yeah. I actually liked your rook f d1 a little bit better because sometimes I want to place the a rook on c1, no?
That's right. So you can jump to d5 with the knight. For example, you have a queen on c7 and a rook on c8. Sometimes it's tough to move the knight away from c3.
Okay, but rook cd1, this can't be too bad either. I liked your idea of being able to take back on d5 with a piece. Now it probably doesn't make a lot of difference about which rook went to d1 anyway.
Right.
But how do we continue as white here? Do we just put another rook on d1? I don't like the knight on f3. I want to get it somewhere else, but I'm not quite sure how. Bishop g5 maybe?
Yes. I mean, I like the idea of doubling rooks on d1 and then c, you know. Black is going to bring the rook to c8 and probably will have to play c3. I also agree that I want to do something else with the knight on f3. Ideally, I would like to bring it to d5, but it's quite a long journey as well. So maybe
it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll.
Exactly. A lot of effort. But ideally, yes, we should do something about this knight in the future.
But if c3, aren't we a little bit unhappy about the knight on a5 coming to c4?
I am unhappy, but what else? I mean, we can try maybe b3 here, and then to proceed with c4.
Yeah. And then we always have to look out for b5 breaks.
Exactly. Or even after b3, black can play straight away b5, and then we are not on time to reach c4.
Yeah, I see.
Or the other option is to go rook d1, and then after rook c8, knight e1.
Yeah.
But then knight c4, bishop c1.
You want to put the bishop back on c1 maybe?
Well, I'm even happy if you take my bishop on e3 in those positions, because we'll reach this kind of position where I have a nice knight versus a not so great bishop on e7, and we can always try to regroup this knight to d5 in the near future. Yeah.
And Gorel here going for b3 and b5, as we were also talking about. That's why I didn't quite like the move b3.
Yeah, I think
maybe going for c4 anyway, c4, c5.
Yeah, c4, and there's an idea. c4, b takes c4, and then b4, followed by rook c4.
Ooh, okay, that's a very nice idea.
Yeah, so maybe black has to, play rook c8 now, and after c4, b takes c4, b4, knight b7, the pawn on c4 is protected.
Yes. Yeah, that makes sense, playing rook f to c8 here.
Or even.
But how about rook a c8, so that we keep the option of f5 open?
Yes, that's also possible.
I have an idea. So if you move a rook to c8, I want to play bishop d2.
Bishop d2.
Yeah.
Okay.
To play c5, c4 on the next move.
It's nice as well, yeah.
And maybe the bishop can sometimes go to b4, but that I'm not so sure about. My main idea is c4.
So 2 minutes 45 seconds for Mishra, 3 minutes for Grell.
Do we ever, as black, consider b4?
Could be as well. Yeah, stopping white's idea with c4. Yeah, b4 is definitely a possibility.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what Gorel will do in this position.
Yeah, you have many options. You can play bishop d2, as you said, c4. Yeah, I wasn't sure about this move because now b takes c4, b4, knight b7. Probably his idea is to play knight d2 in that position.
Ah, okay. And then
the knight on b7
c3?
is extremely clumsy there, because
Yeah.
the b4 pawn controls it a lot. So I really like.
We almost have to play some knight d8.
Bishop d2. It's,
yeah, in this
interesting
position.
Yeah.
So
also
if we
very
go, I wanted to be real tricky and see if I could take on b3, take c7 and b2, but
ooh, but then
it's
rook
too
c8.
much. Yeah, rook c8 and queen d3.
Yeah, queen d3. Or queen d1 even. Queen d3, you have rook c1 check, but okay, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
In any case.
A little bit too creative. Okay, but the knight on a5 is attacked. So there are not really many ways to protect it. So I guess we do have to go knight c6 or knight b7.
Knight c6. The idea is, of course, to jump to d4 somehow at some point. And I guess now queen d7 is... No, queen d7. Yeah, queen d7, queen b7. But of course, white is much better here.
Yeah, h3, taking a liberty, just getting some space for the king.
I like this move. Just a calm move, just giving some fresh air for the king. And black doesn't have so many moves as well. So h6. Black says, okay, you take your time, I take my time as well.
Now there's also no bishop g5 ever.
Right. There's no bishop g5. How to proceed? Queen d3. I like this move. Just centralizing the queen a little bit.
How about, yeah, now we're having some difficulties moving the knight from f3 actually because of knight d4.
Exactly.
So how about a move like bishop e3?
Bishop e3, this is the first move that came to my mind, but I was worried a little bit about knight b4 in that position.
Okay, yeah.
Because the bishop doesn't control that square anymore, so I was thinking about bishop c3 here. And then knight d2, stuff like that. The knight can come to c4 in the future. So for example, bishop c3, knight d8, knight d2. And then next move is, well, bringing the knight to c4.
Yeah. And we're getting some great news that after Pranav has finished his game, he will be joining us here on the stream, talking a little bit about the tournament.
Cool.
Okay, playing rook d3. I guess this prepares some rook c3 at some point and keeps an eye out for the d5 square.
And well, maybe not ideal this rook d3, but okay, you gotta move. Yeah, it splits, and you have 1 minute 30 seconds.
Yes, they're both actually taking quite a lot of time in this game. And knight d8 was played, trying to maybe get the knight to e6, from where it can also go to c5 and d4.
I think white lost a little bit the pressure here, because now I think, well, I would love to have the possibility of going knight d2 in this position to recapture and c4. So that's why Gurel played rook b4, but somehow I think now, well, where do we move the queen? To c6, to a7, bishop e3 now?
Oh,
what
yes,
I mean is I cannot go queen d7 because of knight takes e5.
Yeah, but you have to... I guess, okay, bishop e3, queen c7.
Queen c7 still.
Yeah, still holding.
And then probably rook c4 and knight d2.
And then you get it like that.
I get the position I wanted, yeah?
Yeah, because as you said, queen d7, knight takes e5, just drops a pawn. But now it will be possible to take back on c4 with the knight after rook c4, knight d2.
Right, and I cannot go knight d2 straight away because of queen c2, and then suddenly I have a lot of counterplay here with the black piece.
Yes. So the move order is important.
Right. And
the move order is important, but the time is also important. Gurel now under 30 seconds.
20 seconds.
Just not making a move. I don't understand. Just make a move. Oof. Oh, this is not good.
Bishop b6.
Bishop b6. Wow.
Queen c6,
Okay.
I guess is natural here. Yeah, he wants to take on d8. And then play this knight versus bishop middle game, which is completely understandable.
Yeah, especially now that the knight has a nice way to go to d2, c4, e3, d5. But okay, I guess after bishop takes d8.
And then rook c4.
Rook c4, queen b7,
Yeah.
knight d2.
Knight d2. Well,
Or taking on
c7 you
d6. Yes.
Yeah.
So queen b6. And now knight d2.
Well, the threat is take on c8 and then knight c4 winning a pawn. So probably you have to go bishop e7 back.
Oh, that bishop is just so passive.
And now you can start regrouping. That's right. Knight e3, knight d5, knight f5, rook d5, queen d3. This is just torture for black here.
This is looking like a great positional game from Gorell, actually, I have to say.
Yes.
Just showing a very, very nice understanding of the position, what to do in the different situations. Going with rook d5 now.
Yeah, queen d3. Okay, it's nice that you have all your pieces in a perfect position, but now you gotta make progress. And
yeah.
I like the move g3, to go king g2. You can think about going f4 in the future as well, or h4.
And we do see that Pranav did draw his last game. So what a score. What a beast. Scoring 13 points out of 14 possible. That is actually insane. A huge congratulations. We're looking very much forward to having him here on the stream. It's actually insane. Oof. Okay, rook takes c4.
Yeah,
something is happening. Trying to sacrifice an exchange.
But very interesting. Now a2 and e4 are hanging. So queen e1 runs into queen a2. And f3, of course, runs into queen e2. So king f3. Nice move.
Wow.
I didn't see that coming. That's very nice. Queen d2 next, and then you consolidate the position. Probably f5 has to be considered here. And after gf, maybe you can go back to g2. Otherwise, queen e4 is checkmate. I
have to say, I really like Mishra's practical approach in this game, seeing that it just wasn't possible to play it passively. And we are very, very lucky to have no other than the winner of the tournament with 13 out of 14 possible with us. Pranav, a huge congratulations. I hope you can hear us.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, what a dominating performance in the tournament.
Yeah.
So how did you feel during the tournament?
Yeah, it was normal. Like, felt a little bit tense, but yeah, I think it was okay.
So, do you have any of the games which is your favorite game? Probably it's difficult to remember when there's so many of them.
I wouldn't say my favorite, but the game which I won yesterday against Ihor was very funny, because I was a piece down and somehow I managed to trick him. So that, I wouldn't say my favorite game, but it was a very tricky game.
Yeah, we were actually watching, I think, almost the entire that entire game, and I was really impressed with just your resilience and just keep on fighting for a win, no matter how the position was. What was your go-to strategy when going into?
I don't know. Just play. I was trying to play quickly and just to play whatever comes to my mind. That's all.
So you qualified for the next phase, right? So you'll be facing Jesse Pekko, Sadwani, and second place this tournament, your friend Samun and Kov. So what are your expectations for the next phase?
I don't have any expectations right now. I just want to play well there. That's all.
Okay. And any future tournaments that you're gonna play? Classical tournaments?
I'm actually playing the World Youth Olympiad right now.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Where are you? Where are you right now?
It's I'm in Azerbaijan right now.
How is it going? I saw that you won World Youth, so hopefully following.
It's not me actually. It's like it's another problem.
Oh, it was another one. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I really thought it was you, and then
many get confused with that. So yeah, it's it's fine. Yeah.
But how are you doing in the tournament in World Youth? World Olympiad.
Yeah, but I mean, I am doing pretty good, but our team is doing okay. So. Yeah.
Okay. I can see you won 4-0 today. Congratulations.
Okay, thank you.
So, what is your main target in your chess career? You want to become world champion someday, or?
Yeah, that's the ultimate goal. Yeah.
And how do you train usually? You train with some colleagues, or just train by yourself, the coach, or?
No, I have my coach. I have my coach. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And some last questions. So, what do you like besides chess? Do you have any other hobbies? You play cricket, as many Indians, or?
Yeah, cricket, table tennis, some more.
Okay. Then one day we have to play a match, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't beat me in table tennis.
I'm not that good, so yeah.
I have my chances better than in chess for sure.
Yeah.
Ellen, do you want to ask him some other question before we leave him, or?
Well, just I mean, 13 out of 14. Was this something you were hoping for or thought was possible before you went into the tournament?
No, I did not think about that because I was playing the round in the afternoon and coming here. I was not sure how will I perform here because playing here and there. Again, I have to play classical, so I was not sure like how I would perform. But yeah, it turned out pretty good. So
nice. Just one last thing. You speak Hindi, right?
It's Indian national language, but
I know.
I speak little, not that much.
So you understand Tera Naam Kya Hai?
Yeah. What is my name? Yeah.
Right? I just wanted to try my Hindi.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it's been a real pleasure, and congratulations. It's been very impressive, and
Thank you.
sure we are really looking forward to see you in the next phase at the end of this tournament versus those beats, Yuspenko, Sadwani, and Samonenkov. So it's been a real pleasure, and best of luck in your tournament over there in Baku.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, good luck, and congratulations once again.
Thank you.
Take care. All right.
Well, I'm amazed, but I also feel a little bit embarrassed because pretty much half the things I've said during this broadcast have been completely wrong. So
it happens, you know.
I just really thought it was the same Pranav who also won the World Youth, and no one corrected me when I said it yesterday. So
no worries. You know, they're so talented in India that with one surname you have 5 grandmasters. You know.
And I like that he mentioned the game against Samonenkov as one of the nice games because we were watching it yesterday and it was just a huge drama.
Exactly. I think we have finished all the games right in this round, and maybe we can read the standings for the audience before we leave. So Pranav won the tournament. Samonenkov second, Varat, Gurel, Ilan Party 5th place, Erdoglus, Mishra 7th place, Schneider, Sahiti, Anastasia, Lu, Candela, Fanforest, Visha, and Aiden.
Yeah, I mean, they've all been doing so well. We've been seeing some amazing and very, very exciting chess. My predictions for the tournament, they've not been going very well. But I have to say it's been a real pleasure spending my weekend evenings with you here and doing commentary.
No, my pleasure. It's the first time we do commentary together, and I really enjoyed it. So thanks a lot, Ellen, for being here, and hopefully we'll meet soon again for another event. And thanks a lot to all the people who have been there in the chat all the time, doing comments and interacting with us. I hope you had a nice, hope you had some fun, and it's been a real pleasure. Thanks a lot, Ellen.
Yeah, thank you, and see you, everyone. Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Hello everyone, I'm Grandmaster Pragyananda. Do you want to use my games to improve your chess? Now you can do. We have handpicked 50 puzzles from my games played in Champions Chess Tour this season.
I went bishop c5, d4 and queen e4. Yeah, another crucial win for the qualifications to top 8.
You can download it for free just by going to chess24.com/puzzle pack. Enjoy solving.
He played the Berlin, which I sort of expected, but I didn't really know what to do against, because in reality very few people do.
When we are playing an even game against someone of similar strength to us, usually we need to give something in order to obtain the initiative.
Just how shrewd and cunning Alireza can be, even with very little time.
I want to show you a game just to prove that I play these lines that I played against former world #2 and a bit of a superstar, Gatakamsky.
Hi, my name is Adam Weisbarth, and the most important thing to know about me is that I love the game of chess. I learned to play when I was 5 and loved the game right from the beginning. I taught my younger brother to play when he was 4, so I'd have someone to play with.
Hi, my name is Daniel Weisbarth, and I've been playing chess for as long as I can remember. I've always loved the game. I like competing, I like learning, I like puzzles.
As a teenager, I began teaching in local elementary schools, and when I grew up, I started a program to teach chess to kids.
I joined my brother Adam's company to teach chess to kids.
I loved every minute of it. The organization I founded grew from a couple schools that I started teaching on my own to eventually working with more than 1,000 teachers.
More than 100,000 kids in 400 schools. One of the things that we've worked really hard on is our curriculum and teacher training. We've worked really hard on what it looks like for the coach, how it works for the students, making sure that it's participatory, making sure that it's fun.
Our Chess Academy has 2 main components.
We offer in-person and online camps, classes, and tournaments. The online programs are structured so the students learn in small groups, no more than 8 students. Generally, they're grouped by skill with a coach who's really good and fun and engaged. For some of those students, the coaches are masters or even grandmasters if you need them to.
One of the unique aspects of Magnus Chess Academy is the opportunity for the students to meet and interact with and learn from some of the most famous and successful chess players in the world, including Magnus himself,
Judith Polgar a bunch of times, Anish Giri,
several former U.S. champions, the stars of the chess documentary film Brooklyn Castle, national scholastic champions themselves, and many others.
We think that your children will have a great time in our online academy, and so if you're interested, you can go ahead and sign up and see if we have a good spot for them in the academy.
Visit chessacademy.com/trial to try out an online small group class with no long-term commitment.
Hi, I'm Levon Aronian.
I'm Magnus Carlson.
My name is Anish Giri. I am a top grandmaster.
I'm Grandmaster Aiden
Grandmaster Hans Ziemann.
Grandmaster Lim Lin.
Ivan Šarić, former European champion.
he will go queen h5 check with a double attack. Attack the king and attack the pawn. And you thought, no, can't have that. I don't want the double attack. And so, with this very good insight, you chose the move g5, trying to block the queen's access.